Patriots, the Celts, the Revs, and the Bruins. Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Day 2 of Patriots training camp is in the books, and safety Jabril Peppers thinks things have gotten off to a good start.
It's always important to get a good start, regardless. But especially going into a new system, new coaches, gelling together, getting on the same page is always good to get the ball rolling early.
Camp continues with a public practice at 10 o'clock this morning. In NFL news, the Jets dodged a bullet yesterday when quarterback Justin Fields was carted off the practice field with an apparent lower leg injury. Turns out it was just a dislocated toe. He's listed as day-to-day. The Las Vegas Raiders have released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins and are attempting to void the $35.25 million remaining in guaranteed money on his contract. Ian Rappaport reports a grievance has been filed on Wilkins' behalf to avoid such a void taking place. A potential Red Sox trade target has been taken off the board. The Seattle Mariners have acquired first baseman Josh Naylor from the Arizona Diamondbacks in exchange for a pair of pitchers. The Red Sox return to action at Fenway Park tonight with Brian Bello set to face against Emmett Sheehan and the LA Dodgers. And the New England Revolution are in action tonight as well, hosting CF Montreal at Gillette Stadium. We'll have that for you at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub and the Sports Hub app. And wrestling superstar and provocateur Hulk Hogan has died at the age of 71. Sports Hub headlines are presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. My name is Adam 12 on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Next update in about 30 minutes.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
And Hardy.
Who's Taylor the originator?
On 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How we do it?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Monday.
Well, I tell her the truth, I'm Miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. You get that, Adam, in that chair? Do you hear that?
Yeah. It's a chickadee.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you're not even one of them, and you know them.
You want to listen for about 1 minute to...
That's Lady Bird Johnson right there.
Wow,
Yeah.
good at this.
You know more birds than
lady.
that damn bird that usually sits there.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Pooper.
It says pooper.
That's right.
We know your little secret, Hooper. You're a mad pooper.
You're living a lie, Mr. Pooper.
I saw you go in the mailbox, Mr. Purper. Mr. Purper, I saw that box from Germany. Lots of dirty stuff, Mr. Purper.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello. We are Toucher and Hardy. We are in the Town Fair Tire Studios. You can watch us on YouTube. Simply subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, and then you can watch us live. And there's a lot of fun over there. Plus, Joe's on live at night. Highlights of all the shows. Alex Barth and all these things with the mini camp, or not camp, that camp going on with the Patriots. All these things are very exciting. Albert Breer will be joining us. I believe he's at Green Bay. Is that where he is?
That's what he had said last week when we were planning out this week. He thought he was going to be in Green Bay, but he's a traveling man this time of year.
Yeah, he goes to like 20 camps, so he'll be visiting a bunch of them. He, talks to the coaches and sees how everything goes down. If you noticed, Adam is now in the third chair, which is an intense amount of pressure for him. This is like if Edema came into WBCN in 2006, that you get these three guys in the same studio.
They'd been dropped by 2006, I think. Edema.
maybe Chevelle.
Get inside you.
That's right. The way you like it.
I think we did a pool party one time very early with Chevelle, and maybe you guys were at that pool party with Chevelle.
I remember a pool party with Papa Roach at top of the Colonnade.
Yeah, top of the Colonnade. I believe maybe it was Papa Roach and Chevelle, but that seems like way too many cooks in the kitchen.
I don't know if there's enough cops available for the detail that would require.
Well, I know we did one with Chevelle, and they did not look good. They looked like it'd been a tough tour.
Was that when all three brothers were still in the band? Because eventually one of those brothers ended up out.
You could have told me that there were 17 cousins in the band. I don't know.
No, that's Kings of Leon.
Okay, I don't know anything about any of that.
Are they the Loefflers?
That's right. Loeffler or Loeffler, yeah, something like that.
I think Sam was the
lead
drummer.
singer.
Oh, Sam was the lead
yeah.
singer, but the drummer got kicked out.
Yeah. No, I think it was the bass player that got kicked out.
See, Fred doesn't like Chevelle. There's a couple of Chevelle songs.
The first album was pretty good.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's all
Some
good.
hits on there.
Absolutely. Was it the
Mia.
best? Sure, Mia.
People are saying it was a groundbreaking album. That's what I'm hearing. People are saying
broke a lot of ground.
That's right.
It broke a lot of ground when one of those fat guys in the band started moving around.
You know what? Up yours 12. Pete Loeffler, lead vocals and guitar. Sam Loeffler, drums.
Okay. And Joe was the bass player that
yes,
that left
Joe.
the band.
Okay, so I thought the drummer left. It was the bassist.
They're still playing without Joe.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? It's been 20 years now. Joe left in 2005.
Yeah, that band hasn't.
I mean, he's been out of the band longer than he's been in it. Really?
That band hasn't been relevant since 2005.
Their current bassist is Kemba Walker. Oh, Kemba Walters. Okay.
He's a Kemba Walker double. He goes to parties. You can hire him out as Kemba Walker. All right. Yesterday was a very big day. I don't know if you saw @FredToucher my Instagram, but I played golf with quote unquote Radio Hall of Famer. Very proud of that. Radio Hall of Famer Matty Siegel. Remember him? He used to be on KISS for 50 years.
Okay, so which Hall of Fame is he in?
The Radio Hall of Fame.
Wow, not the Massachusetts
No.
one.
Okay. No, I don't even the Mass Hall of Fame.
He's probably in that one too, right?
No, I would imagine, but you don't put that on the tombstone. You don't put that in the obituary.
The Radio Hall of Fame on there.
Apparently, if you're him, you do, because he refers to himself.
Yes.
He refers to the Hall of Fame a little more than you'd think someone would refer to the Hall of Fame. You know?
Did you fix the tag in your photo, Fred?
I did.
Okay.
He didn't know what his... He wanted me to tag him.
I missed
then
this yesterday. I got to look
well,
at it.
it's gone now.
He tagged a random Matt Siegel.
I assumed
Like
that was
some
him.
kid.
No, it was like some sports agent. So,
was
yeah,
it?
I got
Okay.
rid of it.
Oh, okay.
I was playing golf.
I'm
at
seeing the
time.
photo, though. That's a nice photo.
Yeah, we're buddies.
Look at you with your golf shirt on. A little pink and white and looking all summery.
Yeah.
Honk.
Yeah, you got that right. But we were out there. It was out there for 4 hours together. Played the front 9 in an hour and a half. Played the back 9 in 3.5 hours. Or 3 hours.
Wait, the front took you 90 minutes.
Uh-huh.
The back took you twice as long, or the total time was?
No, it took us twice as long.
Oh, God.
Is that good?
Well, I imagine you ran into some folks in front of you and maybe played deteriorated.
Yes,
Okay.
I can't play. I can't play golf. I don't have the patience for it. I just don't care. I don't know how you care. Like it's amazing. I don't know how you care. I just don't have the ability to think and care that long. Like that's 4 hours of caring.
Yeah.
About everything you're doing. It's very difficult for me to do.
Fred, I encourage you to listen to Sports Hub Golf Club, where we talk about the foibles of caring and not caring. There being great value in not caring, and also, I would say, the folly of trying to concentrate and focus in for 4 hours. It's nearly impossible. Maybe Tiger could do it, but virtually everyone else on the planet needs little tricks. And maybe it's something as simple as, can I give you one? Can I give you one that an instructor once told me?
Please.
Only focus in on your shot when you put your glove on and close it. That's your time to concentrate and think about golf. And when the glove comes off, you let your mind wander. And you talk and you have friends and bup. And that way you're only focusing in for 20 seconds a shot times 80, 90, 100 shots, whatever it takes. And that's the only time you really have to devote to thinking about what you're doing. Because if you try and keep it up for that long, you're like, oh, okay, on this next one, you're going up to your ball, and the next one, you can't. You can't do it.
I can see Fred is certainly that he's taken this advice to heart. I think that's going to be what makes the game click for him moving forward. He's going to enjoy the experience much more.
Yeah.
That Velcro of the glove.
This was also a lot of looking for his ball and no looking for my ball. So I probably lost 11 balls because we were looking for his ball, not my ball.
You see, I think you and I play the same way, Fred. I don't spend a lot of time looking for balls. And like, you know what?
We spent no time looking for my balls.
Yeah.
We were in one cart together. It seemed like we were spending an awful lot of time looking for his balls. Now, he's much better at golf than me. We were playing it a little different way than I normally play, but we were he's much better. He plays every day. I mean, that's what he does. He lives in Florida and plays golf every day. Every single day he plays golf.
Does he miss the game, Fred? And I don't mean golf. Does he miss the radio game?
Oh, yeah. I think he misses radio. Absolutely. I think he misses radio. He's going to be on with us on Tuesday. And
Fantastic.
He's coming in at 9. He's very excited. He's doing...
Is he bringing a game?
He's bringing a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's bringing
back Michigas.
He said he's made millions and got famous doing it. Don't worry about a thing.
Wait, he didn't actually say that out loud. More than once.
Yesterday once. But he was concerned there wouldn't be headphones, and I assured him there would be headphones. So it will be a lot of fun.
We left his at home. That's why in Florida he can't bring his own headphones.
Well, they had built this big studio in his house, and then it was all over.
Yeah.
So he could. But he didn't. I guess he didn't bring any headphones up with him. So he was concerned about if we would have headphones.
A feather in your cap for continuing to maintain your friendship and relationship with him. That's a big get to get Matty on. I mean, he could have gone on in a number of radio shows here, and he chose to come on ours. So.
Well, he chose to come on ours, but the company is making him do hot.
Oh, sure, yeah,
hot.
Yeah,
making him do hot first.
Okay.
Because of the cross of audiences.
Yes, naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was met with some pushback and then immediately agreed to. And when my opinion was asked, I said, I don't care.
Yes.
At all.
And okay.
I don't know.
Those were the two responses.
I don't know
care
how
and okay.
emphatically one can say, I don't care.
Yes. A lot of...
I'm going to issue and put forth a passionate don't care.
Yeah.
Yes, I've made it clear the entire time that any issue that comes up or any stumbling block that they may have, my whole answer to everything is fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could tell me, he's not coming in at all. He's just doing hot. And I would say, okay.
It's the Pete Davidson. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I try to just say okay. But then there's conversation.
Your input is wanted, valued.
There's really, but it's a situation that requires no input or any real anything.
And then whatever is going to happen anyway.
Right. He did radio for 50 years. When he's in here, it's not going to be hard. I mean, he's going to just come in, he'll do his shtick, and then, we'll have a nice there's nothing planned, and then he'll leave, and then it will have been wonderful. And everyone will be, a lot of people will be excited. They, grew up and had kids and everything else. I mean, he was on the radio for a long time. He's 75 years old. Probably on and off in the radio in Boston for 50 years.
Now, did people at the club recognize him and approach him?
I didn't move with I met him on the range, we played, and then I dropped him off at his car.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know anyone at that club. So, I mean, it's
Your
not
club.
like at my club. I don't know anyone.
He was at KISS for 41 years.
Yeah, and before that-
1981 to 2002, and BCN before that. He was. I feel like he was out on the West Coast.
Yeah, he went to the West Coast to do cocaine.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
He and
nice.
Charles.
Him and Charles
enjoyed
both
doing
went to
that,
the West Coast, or just retired to go do cocaine and be actors.
Yeah.
And I think Charles might not even have tried to be an actor. I think Charles just might have retired to go do cocaine. But yeah,
great.
there was a lapse between radio jobs that was just cocaine oriented, and then back to Boston and kind of got on the right track there. So, yeah.
What a time.
Yeah.
Well, Laquadera's got the really funny because I think Maddie went to L.A. under the guise of being an actor and just did a ton of cocaine.
Yeah.
But Laquadera, to my understanding, and I think this might be in that BCN documentary, like really did retire from radio so he could go up to like Maine and do cocaine.
Yep.
Like he had saved enough money, which couldn't have been a lot. Because there's no way Charles in like 1978 was making a lot of money, even by $78.
It was 76. Laquadera surprised listeners by abruptly announcing he was quitting radio to do television and pursue other paths. Later, he admitted he'd quit radio in 76 because, quote, it was getting in the way of my cocaine habit.
Yeah, and so he didn't move to L.A., I don't think. He moved like up to Maine.
Yeah. He literally it was Stowe, Massachusetts.
Okay.
He went out like that way.
Yeah,
like
Stowe
west.
is by Hudson. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And he
was
probably
just
bought a big house
Yep.
to do cocaine in.
hang out, do cocaine.
Yeah.
2 years, and then they finally talked him into coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He figured he had enough money, which is interesting because I don't think radio personalities started to make a lot of money until the 80s. If I had to guess, like a lot of money until corporations took over.
I agree, but and that's the piece though is I don't know the corporate history of BCN well enough to know like when it was bought and sold, because again he was on like Oedipus, he was there early, so anytime the station was bought and sold, guys like Oedipus and Charles got stock options
like
and
ESOP
got
money,
paid.
yeah.
Exactly. So over time you hang out for 3 or 4 mergers, and that's when you're making a lot of money.
Right. But in terms of salary and stake in the company, I can't imagine in 1976 he had a lot of either.
No.
And so in the 80s is when it changed hands a bunch of times, when it went to Affinity to CBS and all those things. That's when all that happened. And people, bitch about corporations buying radio stations, and yeah, it made the music more tight, but it did make salaries way, way more than they had been. I mean, if you were in a major market, then all of a sudden I don't think there was a chance in the 70s if you were in a major market you were making like $1 million. Like that became in like the late 80s like something that could happen.
Hardy and I have talked about this in the past about how.
Sorry, I was just looking up cocaine prices. 1978. Go ahead.
How much was a gram?
Cocaine prices have like gone up and down, and it was wildly expensive. Like it was if the time machine thing ever happens, I had written down a little note to self. Travel back.
These
to
are the years to go
1978.
to. Okay.
Like this might.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, unless I can bring today's money back there, but even still, you're better off just doing it like in the 90s when the price went up again, but then it fell. It takes dips and dives.
Wow.
And it's a volatile market. Go ahead.
I was saying when you and I were working at BCN back in the day, we would have this conversation. We talk about like, man, we missed out by probably a decade on like getting into radio when we really would have gotten paid to get into radio. And you once made the point. You said, yeah, but if I'd come into radio then with all that cocaine, I wouldn't be alive right now.
No, I would have been dead. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, there's if everything else being equal, if my career had taken the same path, from Michigan to Albuquerque, which is close to I guess maybe some source materials for that type of activity, and but I had already like tried it once in Michigan and knew that I liked it, so I was probably going to seek it out anywhere. But then to Vegas, if it like the radio, forget it. No, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
So
you would have died happy though.
No, not at that point. Especially with the coke, man.
Yeah.
Once you've done it a couple of times, and it's this is great, this is awesome, and then you had like really good quality stuff, which we did for a time there, a couple of years in New Mexico. But after that, once it's stepped on a few times and you just start chasing it, it goes from being a night of fun to fun for maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're just trying to feel not completely off. You have to do more so that you don't feel like you need to do more. And of course, obviously it doesn't work.
Right.
But it'll satisfy you for like 5 minutes.
Well, I was going to say part of that 15 minutes of fun is what does Artie Lang say, right?
The best part about about cocaine is going to get it.
Right.
Yeah. That's you'll never feel better about the night or the activity. That's when you're at your most jubilant and euphoric. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Going to get it. And
All
once
right.
you have it, then it becomes a problem.
When did you think that if you got into radio, you would have made the most money?
Oh, I don't know a year. We just figured that like all the guys that got into it in the 70s and 80s are the ones that got paid.
No.
Oh, well then why is this up?
You didn't make any money in the 70s. It was in really the first half of the 80s. The way that they started paying money is really the Howard Stern situation. When he started syndicating, that's when everyone started, and when they started, CBS started buying companies and all of that. That's when people started making. The biggest example of a show taking advantage of that system was Opie and Anthony. Because Opie and Anthony, whatever, if they tried to get fired in Boston or whatever, they got a ridiculous deal. Then they got like a ridiculous deal at whatever the station was in New York.
Oh, WNEW.
WNEW. And then when they syndicated that deal, like they got like a ludicrous amount of money, like tens of millions of dollars. And that only lasted for like a year and a half. And they got paid out the full deals, and which made them like extraordinarily wealthy. So that's that Opie and Anthony are the sweet spot. And there were shows like in Detroit.
I was going to say like major market morning shows as far back as I would say like mid 80s. There had to have been people in big markets making big money, like maybe 2 or 3 shows per market if you go in the top 10 markets, or maybe even just 2 shows.
Like maybe Dick Burton in the 80s, but like I'll give you an example of when someone in Detroit made a lot of money, and that was the who's the guys on Riff?
Doug and Mike.
Yeah. Mike, Doug, Mike, and Drew and Mike.
Drew and Mike
ended up making like $2 million apiece, $2.5 million apiece, because they brought Stern in, and Riff had a lot of and wanted to compete against Stern, and Drew and Mike just beat Stern all the time.
Yeah.
So they ended up getting like $2.5 million because they kept trying to get hired away. So like Detroit, that was I think they made way more money than anyone in Detroit. $5 million morning show. And then you had
Arthur P making a cool mill.
Then you had Arthur P making a sweet mill just for doing his afternoon playing 12 songs an hour. And before that, because I don't think like Steve Dahl made like a lot of money in Chicago.
Well,
like,
I was going to say, like, what about Brandmeier in Chicago?
See, Brandmeier was a star, but I'm not sure how much money he made. Like, I'm sure he made a lot of money, but I'm talking about like ridiculous. Like, your life is you can retire at 40.
I think like the 2 to 3 morning show model is what you guys are saying makes sense, because even in Boston, like it was probably Maddie and Charles were the 2 big morning shows that really got paid.
But Charles made all his money in that ESOP stuff. Like Charles, I don't think like until later in his career made a phenomenal amount of money doing that morning show.
Yeah, I went like. Kevin and Bean made money, but that was
2000,
and that's L.A. and that's like probably I was going to say late 90s before they made big money.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm saying like late 90s, 2000s is when the money, mid 90s to like mid 2000s is when the money got.
But if
crazy.
you were pulling 50, 75 grand a year in the 80s. That was big money.
No, I'm not saying they were poorly paid.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about like rich. Like I'm talking about because what would 75,000 would that be like $300,000 now or something like that? Say it's $350,000 now. I mean, I'm talking about like $2-3 million. Like guys making like a lot of money. not making good salaries, like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which was, you guys came in at a decent time. Now, what ended up happening is that jocks started getting paid less and less and less and less and less.
Yeah,
right.
You don't get Arthur P making $1 million anymore.
Baby.
You know? And now they don't pay you for syndication.
Yep.
Morisaki Buba-sama?
That's right. That was when they gave the trip away to Japan. And the geisha girl comes up to him. She calls him Papa-san. Because he was he was Papa.
With his Hawaiian
Pooba-san.
shirt on.
Because he was the Grand
Pooba-san,
Poobah.
right, he was the Grand Poobah.
She goes, hey, Pooba-san. And he goes, baby. Baby, I like these women serve me. Baby, walk on my back. And you say, Fred, that's stereotypical. And I'm saying, all I'm telling you is what was in that ad.
Yep.
That was, they were giving a trip away to Japan. It almost went, no.
No, seriously. Wouldn't have surprised me if it did.
But there's two beautiful Japanese geisha girls,
Yep.
and there's big fat Arthur P sitting there.
With this Hawaiian shirt.
And well, no, he's got a kimono
Oh,
on.
that's right. He's a kimono on that one. That's right.
And they come up to me and they go, oh, Papa-san. And he goes, baby.
Morisaki Buba-sama?
Pooba-sama.
Yeah.
And he's like, baby, yeah, sake, yeah, baby. They put that whale out at Maui. Maui Wowie. He loved Maui.
He sure did.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
As did Charles.
Yeah.
As does Charles.
I don't think
He's
there
back on the
anymore.
mainland now. Yeah, he moved back to the mainland about
Sell all that
10
property
years ago.
over
Yeah.
to Oprah or something.
Dude, Charles Liquidator is.
I think he still owns it, or he owns something out there that he can go back and forth to. But good on Charles.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Dutcher or is that Hardy?
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. What's it brought to you by Lab? What happened last night is brought to you by... It's live radio, guys. I can't help it. Hey, everybody.
Hey, take two.
Right? If only. It's Friday, though. I hope everyone's in the right state of mind to come up with my little bit of pratfall. Audio pratfall, everybody.
On the upswing to the 7 o'clock hour, you got to be there by 9. You got I can't even do the math.
2.5.
This guy
2 hours and 28 minutes, everybody.
This guy was never going to go to medical school. Your loss is our gain. Hey, everybody. What happened last night? We're going to take you through all the weird and wonderful news. Look at that bird hanging out. John Wallach checking in. Hello. Oh, really? It's that bad, huh? He's dying. Oh. Untreated syphilis. Okay. Brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of, hey, everybody, what went on? What happened? What happened to my lettuce? Way to go.
You can't do it.
What, my lettuce? My lettuce exit stage left. My lettuce did the old 23 skidoo.
I didn't know how weird today was going to be until just now. It's going to be a weird day.
Hey, it's Friday, baby. It's summer. We're going to have time. I can't wait to get to the pool.
You're going to walk out of your attendance and say, what happened?
What happened?
What happened last night?
What happened last night? Thank you for getting it back. So change your lettuce, and that means hair, ladies and gentlemen. Change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
I think I might mosey myself down to Patriots training camp today, find out the schedule, see what's going on down there, because I feel like I'm missing out on all these things happening down there. Kendrick Bourne speaking yesterday, talking about the Josh McDaniels systems.
Josh, obviously I have experience with Josh, and my first year, the way we were spreading the ball around was really exciting. You can be on the bench and have a role coming in the game.
You can what?
All right, I don't know. Let's see what triggered you.
This year, the way we were spreading the ball around was really exciting. You can be on the bench and have a role coming in the game.
Urinate. You clearly said you can pee on the bench.
No, he did not say
that.
Yeah. No, he didn't say
Yeah, he did.
He said nothing of the sort.
First year, the way we were spreading the ball around was really exciting. You can be on the bench and have a role coming in the game. Josh knows how to put it together, so there's a bigger picture that you have to look at rather than...
Where's the picture?
I don't know, but that static in the background is exactly what you're looking for with a Mr. Microphone. You need to find that totally dead frequency with nothing coming through it. And boy, if you synced up that Mr. Microphone, you could be check 1 2. Hey, I'm on the radio. Hey,
Perfect.
good looking. I'll be back to pick you up later.
Audio courtesy of Mark Capello.
Well, they can't help that.
Well, so much for the Trump administration.
Right now, you may be not getting a lot of reps, but the play that you do go in, the 3 plays, how do you make them count? Because those can be plays that change the game. So just that's my advice to the whole room as a sense, just having experience with Josh. That moment will come, and are you going to be ready or are you not?
No one asked.
No, obviously they did ask. Either Zolak or Bertrand asked, and he answered. Asked and answered. Morgan Moses with some thoughts on some of his teammates, including Will Campbell.
Oh, man, he's just eager to learn, man. He's hard on himself, and I tell him sometimes you got to give him grace, and he's like, excuse my language, he's like, F that, man. I'm like, and it's good to see, man, because, obviously we come from 2 different types of football, not saying that I'm older or anything like that, but just to be able to see that attitude and aggression and get better, man, every day, it makes me want to come in every day and get better. And so when you got somebody like that's pushing you on the opposite end, man, that's when you become bookends.
That was Morgan Moses?
Yes.
He sounds lively.
He
yesterday.
does. He does. You know who else is lively out there is head coach Mike Vrabel.
I think when you got a guy that's played at a high level, won some Super Bowls, and got it out the mud, right, you have a certain respect for him. And I think that's what you see out there when you see a coach out there holding pads and getting blasted every day, and he's not complaining.
You say got it out the mud? Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm.
A certain respect for him, and I think that's what you see out there when you see a coach out there holding pads and getting blasted every day, and he's not complaining, he's not moaning about it. He's just like, hey, next man up mentality. That makes everybody come and respect that level of attitude and his gratitude. Just to have a coach out there that you can go out there and do those things with, man. So when it turns on to Sunday, when it's important in between the lines, man, that extra that you got to have on 4th and 1 or 3rd down, that's where it comes from, because you got a guy that's done it, the right way and on a coaching level and as a player.
I tell you, that Morgan Moses has an impressive vocabulary of like high energy cliches. Out there on Sundays, attitude, gratitude, get it done. He says it with conviction. He's got a lot of energy.
That's how you stick around the NFL
right
for that long.
All right.
Coaches love them.
Good.
Players love them. High energy and don't say anything overly interesting.
Right.
And that's not me being smart ass either. I think that is the way that you do it. Is that you're high energy, you don't say too much, but you're nice and you say a lot. You sound like you're driven. There you go. By the way, there was some news yesterday while we were on the air. John Wallach was here and he put it as like, Justin Fields was carted off at Jets practice.
Yeah, I have more on that.
I believe you have audio. Because believe me, I got all the information.
I have Aaron Glenn talking about it.
But Aaron Glenn talked right after the practice and when he was non-committal about the injury. It turns out, what was first said is that Justin Fields was carted off Jets practice.
Right.
He came up lame with a lower. No, that was even. But before that, it was just he was carted off practice.
Right.
So when you hear carted off, you think they were like on a stretcher, like tied down, like being put on the back of a cart. Right. And then it turns out that he came up lame, limped to the side, went limp to a trainer, went to the injury tent, then came out, rode shotgun in the cart, and then walked into the training facility. So then that was like, okay, but that doesn't mean you can still tear an Achilles or something like that. Well, it turns out that he just dislocated one of his non-big toes. Someone stepped on it, and that that it's a day-to-day thing. That he will not miss week 1. So so much for John, and that's what the problem with Twitter is, and why John should have standards above that, because John just runs with whatever comes first out, and then so he basically told everyone Justin Fields isn't playing football this year.
So I'm just taking, since I'm in his chair here, I'm going to take some notes on that today. So don't
Justin Fields, card it off.
Don't run with it. Check your sources.
Not playing.
Check your sources.
I'm a big shot. I have X. Look at me. I love to cook. Shrimp scampi. Yesterday, I said all John likes is professional sports, and then John's like, "That's not true." And I'm like, "Okay, what else do you like? What are your other passions?" And he goes, "What are my other passions?" And he goes, and then Hardy goes, "Do you like food? Are you a foodie?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm a foodie. I like to cook." He goes, "Well, what do you cook?" And he goes, "What do I like to cook?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Shrimp scampi." And I go, "Oh, Jesus, John." He goes, "Well, you cook shrimp scampi?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can. It's butter, garlic, and shrimp and noodles. I can cook shrimp scampi." Yes, I have done that. I have kids. Butter and noodles that's what kids like. And then he goes, and then Hardy's trying to help him. He goes, "Well, do you go to like fancy restaurants?" He's like, "No." So he just said he couldn't think of anything. Think of that. What else do you like besides professional sports? In your mind is this blank.
He likes to read Spencer novels.
Yeah, but that's not a passion.
Well, no, you can take that passion to its fullest and be done with it in a month. If you set your mind to it, you just read all the Spencer books.
Yeah, if you were on vacation, you could knock out 7 Spencer books easily if you were that into it. I mean, you could knock out 1 a day on vacation easily. So what we've learned is John likes Spencer books and professional sports.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that he enjoys, which is almost unfair to the rest of the world, that he walks around with a head perfectly fine, just thinking about professional sports and Spencer books.
And occasionally, shrimp scampi.
It's like, what else do you like? I don't know. Do you like food? Yeah, I like food.
Not that you mentioned it, I do. I'm a big foodie.
I'm a big foodie. You like fancy restaurants? No.
Super yummy. He likes food. Food is good. He likes food. Food is good.
All right, stop kissing my ass.
Oh, kissing your ass.
We're trying to what?
Trying to get these headlines ready.
All right.
Read these headlines.
Because he bombs on a joke, and then he wants to act like he was forcing.
What joke?
He was forcing. He did the Descendants
Making
thing.
a reference. That's not a joke. That's a
Well,
reference.
don't say anything about Hulk Hogan. We're going to talk about him next.
All right. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Your New England Patriots continue training camp at Gillette this morning. The Zoe and Beetle Show brings it all to you live starting at 10 o'clock. In other NFL news, the Raiders released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, want to avoid the $35 million in guaranteed money he's owed. He's filed a grievance. Jets quarterback Justin Fields left the practice field yesterday with what ended up being a dislocated toe. He's listed as day-to-day. Turning to Major League Baseball, the Seattle Mariners acquired first baseman Josh Naylor from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Why is that important? Because that means he's not coming here to Boston. The Red Sox are, though. They're back at Fenway Park tonight for a weekend hosting the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the New England Revolution are hosting CF Montreal at Gillette Stadium this evening. Oh, and as mentioned, wrestling superstar and provocateur Hulk Hogan died at the age of 71. Sports Hub headlines brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain keep you off the court, course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy. My name is Adam 12 on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Next update after 7.
Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports.
LR45, engine 46, fire type Bravo.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that's no 911 call. That just sounds like something being dispatched.
What the hell was that?
I don't know if maybe they censored out his name on the original call.
So
I
it's
don't know if that
just
was
a
what it
guy saying the name of the fire truck that was going?
Yeah, he's talking about they're dispatching, or the guy in the truck is saying that he's been dispatched.
Okay, well, I rather than listen to that, I would rather listen to someone, not just somebody who once took a photo with him, not somebody who just happened to meet him one time and had a story, somebody who was in the business, so to speak. And that would be one Jay Stu. If anyone has anything to say about the passing of Hulk Hogan, it's Jay Stu.
Hulk is an iconic figure, Sports Illustrated cover, the Rocky III movie, just transcended from pro wrestler to television superstar, iconic figure. And it's the last few years, there have been some really bad stories about him. So you've got this great iconic television talent who may have been a bad person.
It's pretty much on the money.
Yeah.
Well, his
yeah,
whole
of
Gawker
course.
thing that there were people around here that supported was created the whole litmus of billionaires just suing media to death.
Yeah.
That if you had enough money, you could just
Thank
pour
you, because that's
tens
part
of
of his
millions of
legacy
dollars
as well. Yeah.
Right. It was
Yeah.
what happened is his friend, Bubba the Love Sponge, who's this huge idiot, taped him, quote unquote, without his knowledge, banging his wife, not Hulk Hogan wife.
No.
Hulk Hogan banging Bubba's
wife, right.
Through Bubba's
cuckold.
Well, yeah, and then Bubba apparently had cameras and filmed it, and then someone, who knows who, it's never been. He was trying to blame a radio enemy of his is releasing it. Mike Calta, he said, released it, which sounds ridiculous. And anyway, so if you don't know, Gawker put up 2 minutes of this video. Gawker had outed a billionaire as gay like 2 years before that, and that
Peter
billionaire.
Thiel.
Yes. Well, excuse me. Go ahead.
I believe it's Peter Thiel.
Oh yeah, Peter Thiel. And so Peter Thiel then used this opportunity to bankroll Hulk Hogan into suing Gawker, and sued him for some egregious amount of money, and he just kept pouring. He didn't care, just tens of millions of dollars into this lawsuit. And then he ultimately got what he wanted, and Gawker had to file for Chapter 11, and then everything got changed
Gawker
there.
and the Deadspin, all that stuff.
Yeah, it all went away. So, and then what that gets to is kind of what's going on with Paramount right now is in just a lot of stuff. It's people with a lot of money or people with a lot of power holding media companies hostage and saying, basically, I don't care. I'll just litigate you to death until you bend to my whim or I destroy you. And so that was not about Hulk Hogan's privacy, and that wasn't about anything like that.
No,
that
it
was
vendetta.
about a vendetta
Yeah.
from a billionaire. And that's what the kind of world we're living in now.
Which is not good, by the way. Not good.
No, you wouldn't have known that by listening to this show at that time. But no, it was not good.
No,
that a vindictive billionaire was trying to just sue someone. I think everyone's on the same page with just suing something to death, just for the sake of killing it.
You would think that, and I think at one point in time that was the case, but I think a lot of people have let the vendetta part of it, get in the way now. Where, yeah, sure, we shouldn't allow people to sue something into oblivion. Oh, but if it's what I don't like, then we should let it happen.
Well, if you own a business or you are employed by a smaller business, that I don't think that you want like 5 guys in the world to be able to just sue you out of existence.
Right, and hire all the lawyers and everything it takes. And look, the jury awarded Hulk Hogan and Peter Thiel it was $140 million as a result of that lawsuit. So there has to be at least some merit to it. But like you said, if you have enough resources and you can keep it in court and you can hire the right attorneys and you can make the right arguments, you can make a lot of juries just agree with you. It's like, wow, they make a really compelling case. No kidding. Yeah, it's amazing what money can buy.
Right.
Some really good minds that whose job it is to convince you of something.
Well, I would ask you, how many videos right now on the internet have been taped without someone's knowledge? just out there.
I scroll through your feed and you'll see 18 of them in like a minute because
So
there's
let's-
just people
let's put
walking
a-
on the street that people are.
Let's put
recording
a
and
short number on it of 2 million. Right now, 2 million videos
Sure.
out there. Like, this video is the video. Like, if your aunt got taped without her knowledge having sex and it was released, you'd be super pissed. But the chances of you getting $140 million settlement or this even going that far the chances are nil. It's just because the guy was rich and was able to do this. And it wasn't, however, the Hulk Hogan tape got out, which still, to my knowledge, hasn't been really confirmed. Who knows? I mean, all we know is Bubba the Love Sponge said, "Please have sex with my wife," and Hulk Hogan obliged. I mean, I've seen
No problem, brother.
Yeah, it's not the most erotic of tape.
No.
The 2 minutes that I saw. Yeah, brother. Yeah. Where are you gonna be? I'll just be behind the screen. You don't want to be in the room, brother? You want to tag in?
Oh, yeah, of course.
But Jay Stu was very right. That was I couldn't have said it better myself. I could have said it better. No, I couldn't have said it better myself. I was getting all ready to do a Jay Stu impression, but then Jay Stu wowed me with his take, so I had to cut it off.
I would love to have.
Yo, guys, Hulk Hogan here, and I've got one question for the Sports Hub listeners out there. What you gonna do when Felger and Maz run wild on you, brother? What you gonna do?
That's very Arthur P.S. That's almost just like going, baby.
A lot of grit in there. Yeah.
A lot of road steamer in there, too.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
All right. Look, Bert Breer is out at an NFL camp. We believe it's Green Bay's, but he will join us for the next hour via the Zoom, and we will have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. sports, the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Couple days of Patriots training camp in the books. Veteran offensive tackle Morgan Moses is trying to get off to a solid start.
I just come in and, try to put my best foot forward every day. The good thing about where I'm at right now is that I still feel like I can continue to learn. It's a way different offense that I've been in my previous years. And so that's what keeps me going is just, being able to come in and knowing that I can get better every day and the opportunity is there.
Camp resumes at 10 o'clock this morning with a public practice. Across the NFL, the Jets are breathing a collective sigh of relief. Yesterday, quarterback Justin Fields carted off the practice field with an apparent lower leg injury. Today, reports are that he has a dislocated toe and is day-to-day. A shocking release from the Raiders, who cut ties with defensive tackle Christian Wilkins and are attempting to cut him out of the $35.25 million he's guaranteed on his contract. A grievance has been filed on Wilkins' behalf. He's trying to keep that money. In baseball, a Red Sox trade target has moved. The Mariners acquired first baseman Josh Naylor from the Diamondbacks in exchange for a pair of pitchers. The Red Sox are back in action after a night off last night. They're at Fenway tonight. Brian Bayo set to face Emmett Sheehan and the LA Dodgers. The New England Revolution in action tonight as well. We'll have Revs versus CF Montreal at 7:30 here on the Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines. Brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lowe Presti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Tom Karen, and Tom E. Curran. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. My name is Adam 12 on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Next update in about 30 minutes.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Is elongating.
Weekday mornings.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
No, it's crazy. It's a different
game yet, or is this your first one of the season?
I've been to one other one with Milo, and I've been to one with a friend. I might have been to two with Milo. This is probably my fourth game this year.
I was about to ask you who the probable pitchers are, but that's kind of my job today, so I'll look that up.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Friday getaway day.
It was supposed to be Ohtani, but it's not.
Yeah.
They pulled it. If it was Ohtani, I think tickets would have been more expensive.
Yeah.
But I've seen Ohtani pitch.
They can't be cheap, though.
They weren't cheap, but they weren't what they were, a couple days ago. I got in at a time. Oh, Walker Bueller. Oof, now you're talking. I got in at a time where I thought that these were reasonably priced for the event it was and where the seats were. All right. Bert Breer is the senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. Bert, where are you right now?
The suburbs of Chicago.
Okay. Now, have you been to this is Bears camp?
Yeah, so this is my fourth. I'm starting with the 4 NFC North teams. So I went Lions, Vikings, Packers, and now Bears today.
Okay, so what was the situation in Detroit like with the new coaching?
Yeah, one thing you notice when you're there, Fred, is like how talented they are. I think because sometimes the way we've looked at that team, the job that Dan Campbell's done and the job Ben Johnson done, it's sort of taken all the oxygen out of the room. But they have so many of their best players are in year 3, year 4, year 5, and you go down the list, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiden Hutchinson coming back off the injury, Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, so many of their guys are already really good and should keep getting better. So, I think that's part of it is they hope that the roster is so good that that's going to mitigate the coaching loss. I think they're going to feel it more on offense than defense, though. The more people you talk to, the more you hear what Ben Johnson did was very specific to Ben. He's not from one of these big families of offensive coaches where it's like this established system. What he did and what he's done over the last couple of years was really kind of specific to him. And now they're bringing in John Morton, who was with Ben for a single year 3 years ago. And he's going to, I think, change some things, keep some other things. So it'll just be interesting with a little bit more on Jared Goff and the players to get it done, I think.
Okay, out of all the new coaches, Ben Johnson is the one that is being labeled as, the golden boy. I mean, people are talking about, they did last year too, but people are talking about Chicago being like a playoff team that could that could come out of that very tough division.
Yeah.
Is that a guarantee? I mean, because just the only reason I say that I don't know anything about Ben Johnson is that I've seen tons and tons of offensive wizards, get into a head coaching job and fail.
Yeah, he's interesting because that's always been the question with him. You know what I mean? It's like, he can call an offense, he can design an offense, he can coach a quarterback, but does he have the leadership piece of it? And I've said this to you a million times, Fred. Like, I think like what Sean McVay, for example, like what he does best, like if you were ranking those things, I think, his offensive acumen would be down the list. Like, I think he's a better leader. He's a better culture builder than he is, an offensive coach. He's a really good offensive coach, but that's just a piece of the whole package. And I think the Bears, based on where things were at the end of last year, based on the way things came undone last year, do need somebody to come in and like change the atmosphere of that place. So, like that's always been the question with him is can he command a room? And the way he won over players in Detroit, was more or less by giving them the answers to the test.
Mm-hmm.
It's here, if you do things this way, you're going to have 1,000 yards receiving. You're going to have 1,200 yards rushing. You're going to have a quarterback rating over 100. You're going to make the Pro Bowl as a tackle. I'm going to give you the answers to the test. And so I think that's a huge key for him, here in Chicago is how quickly can he give those guys the answers to the test, right? Like how quickly can he get those guys results? Because
that scares me.
It was a place that was a mess at the end of the year,
But that scares me because who did he have ahead of him?
And that's part of it, yeah. Like
you had the huge alpha, like
right.
You had the ex-player, the alpha, so you can sit and work with the offense.
I mean,
and get their respect. But in the meantime, the guy at the beginning, at the head of the room, is the big alpha guy.
Well, if you guys remember when I remember telling you guys about Mike McDaniel when he took the Miami job, right? And like Mike McDaniel when he was in San Francisco, would more or less disappear on Monday, right? Like they would get through meetings with players, and then like Monday afternoon, he would more or less disappear, and he would come back Wednesday morning with like the run game for that week, right? And there were a lot of questions over whether or not Mike could lead an entire team because that was the way he did his job, right? Like his job was, I'm going to go in the lab, I'm going to get the answers to the test, I'm going to give the players the answers to the test, and maybe they won't respond to it right away, but once they see that it works, then they're going to follow me. And again, that's like almost exactly what Ben was in Detroit. Like Ben was one of these guys, all right, on Monday, I'm done with my meetings, wrapping up the game on Sunday, and I'm going to go into the hole, and I'm going to get the game plan right, and I'm going to kind of work on my own. And then when the players come back on Wednesday, here it is. That was the way that he had worked. So I do think there's some similarities. They're not the same guy, but there are some similarities to how Mike McDaniel coaches with what the Bears players are going to see with Ben Johnson.
But the thing is, Mike McDaniel is cool. Like I know, and there's the verdict's out on whether.
But he's very different, though, right? Like,
yeah, well, but that's the thing is that if I was like Mike, we don't know yet if he's a good coach or not, right? Like that's yet to be decided. But the thing that I think Mike McDaniel has going for him that a Ben Johnson might is just social skills. You don't understand what I'm saying? Like it just like he's like a funny, cool guy. That might not work, but at least he's not Adam Gase, right? Like he's not one of these whiz kids. Like at least Mike McDaniel, I know, is best friends with Dan Soder and like can talk to people. I don't know if that's Ben Johnson's that guy,
right? And like I think the real test comes for because it's easy, right? This time of year, like I'll go there this morning and everything will be great, right? Like because they haven't played a game yet. Like the real test with all of these guys is what happens when they lose a couple of games in a row. What happens when three guys get hurt in the same game and now the next week is a fire drill and you got to keep everybody on board when the season looks like it could be on the line. What happens when a player gets arrested? How do you handle that sort of stuff? So I think like that was something that Mike McDaniel, that was the biggest question with Mike McDaniel. I think people knew like he had this quirky, different personality. How is that going to present in front of the room was a big question. And we all know now, right? Like it's easy to say it now, but he presents much differently than a Mike Vrabel or a Dan Campbell or a guy that you would say is more of like a prototypical football coach, right? And Mike found his voice by being himself. Because I think there were a lot of people questioning whether or not he could do that, and he did, right? So I think that that's a big question for Ben, and was a big question for Ben the last couple of years was how he presents in front of the room. There were even some people that thought, and this was interesting, like when he pulled his name out of the Carolina search a couple of years ago, when he pulled his name out of all the searches last year, and probably could have gotten a job. There were a lot of people that asked the question, does he even really want to be a head coach, right? Does he have like this self-awareness that he is like at his best as an offensive coordinator? It's a question a lot of people have asked, and I'll be interested to see what it looks like when I'm out there today.
Yeah, I think there's probably so many questions in terms of like how they're going to relate to him, but also there's questions with the quarterback there. There were things earlier this week about what his goals are and how that's going to translate into actual wins. And I don't know if you saw any of that, Bert, but there seems to be some lingering, let's just say, emphasis on personal goals rather than professional or team ones.
With Ben, you're saying?
No, with the quarterback.
Oh, with the quarterback. Oh, the quarterback. Yeah. That's been the question with Caleb, like really going back to like when he was like, I think a sophomore at USC, right? Like, cause he was like the first NIL kid because if you remember, like he was part of that first class of high school kids coming into college when NIL was there in 2021. And so he's almost like I think seen as like the first real millionaire celebrity college athlete, right? Because he wound up at USC, and there were the stories about having the penthouse in Los Angeles, and there's all the different stuff about the painted fingernails and like just the different type of personality he is. And it's interesting because like I talked about Ben not being like the figure you'd cut in a head coach. It's sort of the same thing with Caleb Williams. Like he's a very different guy. And, even some of the stuff that he said, like, I don't know if you guys saw the stuff that was in Seth Wickersham's book that's coming out in September about where Caleb and his dad were trying to see if they could steer themselves to Minnesota. Like that was real. Like he was, he met with two teams before the draft. It was the Bears and the Vikings, and he refused meetings with everybody else. And so this is a kid who's approached his career a lot differently and is kind of he's a different type of figure than a quarterback usually is. So that relationship's obviously going to be really, really important, important.
Yeah, and for him to have goals like, and he stated them like in order. I want to be the first 4,000-yard passer. I want to have a 70% completion percentage, and also I want to put points on the board. And
but some of that's from Ben though. Like I think Ben was the one who set the 70% thing.
Okay,
and the 4,000. Ben actually said.
Oh well, look. If that's his means to motivate him, great. I just wonder if Caleb is thinking
I know
great.
I know what you're saying. The 4,000 yards thing is kind of almost a joke now. Did you guys know that the Bears have never had a 4,000?
Yes.
We also know. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, do you know who their passing leader is for a single season?
Oh, that's a good question. Is it? It's not Rex Grossman, right?
No.
No.
I'll give you a hint. I guess Jim Harbaugh was wrong.
It's not Mike Tomczak, is it?
Nope.
Boy,
Boy, you do this for a living.
Former Lion.
Yeah, he played for the Lions.
Yes.
Eric Kramer. Good
Yes.
job.
There you go.
Yes.
All right.
Good job.
I wouldn't have guessed that without the hint, though, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, not a lot of people would have gone, oh boy, yeah, certainly Eric Kramer if it's the Lions in Chicago. So that you proved your worth, sir. Good job.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
job. Yes, indeed.
How about that division overall, though?
It's stacked. Yeah, I mean, I spent some time with the Vikings on Wednesday, and if the quarterback can play, that Vikings team is loaded. Like every single position, they don't have a hole, And you look at where they are offensively with Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison's probably going to be suspended for 5 or 6 or 7 games, but he'll be there eventually. I mean, the Vikings are really good. The Lions are really good. The Packers, I mean, I think the Packers, the question isn't whether they're going to be good. It's, can they go from 11 wins to 13 wins? That's what you're dealing with in that division. And so that's going to make it even tougher on Chicago, But Chicago, you look at what they did on the offensive line and going and getting Joe Thuney and Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson. And it's sort of the model that Ben had in Detroit, where they really went overboard in building the offensive line. And as you guys know, like the Lions have really ridden that offensive line. That's another big question for the Lions is losing Frank Ragnow. What's going to happen with the line? Because it was such an overwhelming strength for them. But yeah, that might be, I'd say right there with the AFC West, that might be the most balanced division in football.
All right. This is good stuff. And who do you like the most out of there, just quickly?
I like the Lions to win the division again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that might take, 14 games, so who knows?
Yeah.
All right. Bert is on the road. We love when he's on the road. It means football is on the way, which is very exciting. He is in suburban Chicago, where I have to fly in for one day coming up this next month. I go there on a Friday evening and come back on a Saturday evening. Isn't that fun?
Ooh.
All right. We will be back in just a moment with more from Bert.
Sport with Hardy and Wallace.
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Bert Breer is in Chicago. He's been to Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota. He goes to Chicago camp today. A guy that used to be in Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers. His first pass of camp was intercepted there in Pittsburgh. But the word out of Pittsburgh sounds like a lot like the word was out of New York when he first got there. Everyone loves him. He's the best. This is a very interesting story this year because there's so much pressure on Tomlin and Rodgers. This is like a legacy thing. Yep. I think this could cost Tomlin his job, which just doesn't happen, obviously, in Pittsburgh. But, you know that half that fan base, if not more, wants Tomlin out of there. And if you give him this quarterback and, he wants this quarterback and they don't make the playoffs, what do you think the chances are he could be gone if they don't make the playoffs?
Well, I think, Fred, that would be more of an organic thing. I can't remember the last time I saw a team so leveraged into a single year. Can you? Where there were so many older players where it was okay, this guy's got a year left. This guy's got 2 years left. This guy maybe has 3 left. This guy's got a year left. You go right on down the line and you look at that roster, and I think I made this analogy with you guys earlier in the offseason where they consciously decided when they looked at what they had at the time. Minka Fitzpatrick was still there, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, the makeup of that team. And we've been pretty good the last few years, but if we because they were never bringing Russell Wilson back. So if we go in on Justin Fields, are we going to be able to get over the top? In other words, do we want to swing and, hit a single or a double, or do we want to load up and swing for the fences? So they took a swing at Matthew Stafford. They wind up with Aaron Rodgers. I think from a big picture perspective, they made that decision. We are going all in to see if we can maximize what we've got left with some of the older guys we have. And so now it's not only TJ Watt and Cam Hayward, but they trade Fitzpatrick for a guy who's older than him and Jalen Ramsey. They bring in Darius Slay. They trade for DK Metcalf, who's not older, but is on his third contract as kind of an old 27-year-old. They're very leveraged for this year. And so what you're talking about, after this year or next, they're going to have to reset everything to begin with. So I think when you use that as your starting point, either in 26 or 27, there's probably going to be a pretty heavy roster reset coming. Well, then isn't that when you ask that question? I don't think they're going to ever fire Tomlin, but isn't that when you sit down and say, okay, this is probably going to take 2 or 3 years to rebuild this thing and get it back where we want it again? Do you want to be a part of it? Do we see you as a part of it? I think they're going to naturally come to that point in the next year or two where those sorts of big picture questions are going to be asked. This is his 19th year there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this year. And then depending on how this year goes, I think those questions sort of come up naturally.
Do you think that do you think Tomlin would want to stay? And if they don't make the playoffs and he quote unquote leaves, how does that affect his job market and legacy?
I think his legacy is secure because he won a Super Bowl. I think he's at the point where it's he could enhance it. But going 18 years, and I know people make fun of this sometimes, but going 18 years without having a losing season in the NFL is pretty remarkable, So I think it says something about who Mike Tomlin is and being able to constantly reinvent himself and keep guys motivated, there's that old, I think it was Pat Riley said it, in the 80s or whatever that, or maybe it was Bill Walsh. It was one of those guys who said something about after 10 years, a coach's message gets stale and they need to change him out. And so the fact that, he's kind of, been able to have that level of success and maintain it after losing Ben Roethlisberger is pretty remarkable. But yeah, I think that there's that idea has does that program need updating? And does Mike Tomlin need the reset where he's going to go up and update his own program? And can that happen in Pittsburgh with them together? Those are the big picture questions I think you've got to ask.
But
you
so,
know,
so much.
But I think he certainly have a market. I think he'd 100% have a market. Yes,
I think you would too. But I guess I'm surprised, or maybe I'm hearing you wrong. Like, how much of this depends on Aaron Rodgers' performance? Because that doesn't have a lot to do with Tomlin. He's his own entity, and I don't think it's Tomlin's desire to have him there. So,
is that true? Is it not Tomlin's desire to have him there?
No, I think Tomlin wanted to have a quarterback he could win with right now. Yeah, no, Tomlin's on board with this. I mean, this is like, in a lot of ways, this is the price for striking out on Kenny Pickett, is that you strike out on Kenny Pickett, and like, based on where they are from a team standpoint, this is Kenny Pickett's, I think, 4th year. So this should be when their first round quarterback from 2022 is just hitting his stride and is becoming a top quarterback. So they had to do something at the position. And I think they felt like they could have gotten a good year out of Justin Fields, but they weren't going to level up the way that they want to level up and, put what's been, an 8-9 win team. They aren't going to put that team over the top with Justin Fields. They needed something more. And so they take this big swing, and there's the risk because of his age and everything else that you swing and miss. But I think they would rather swing and miss swinging through the fences than swinging for a single or a double.
Fields didn't turn him down?
Well, he did, but what Fields was looking for was guarantees into the second year, and a contract that would sort of signify you're going to give me some real runway to start. And I don't. The Steelers were at a point with Fields where I think they were looking at the idea, okay, we bring him back and we want to keep developing him and we want to keep working with him, but that doesn't mean we want to walk away from an opportunity like an Aaron Rodgers type of opportunity if it comes along.
Okay. Who do you think they'd be better with? Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, if Rodgers plays the way, Fred, if Rodgers plays like the way he did in a couple games down the stretch than Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, he can still really, really throw it, And I've asked some people just, over the last, and like kind of catching up with people the last few days about Aaron. His name's come up, and what everybody says is the arm talent, that's still there. I think the bigger picture question is with Aaron. The Vikings looked at him. I was with them the other day, and their assessment on him, they took a very hard look at him, and the arm talent is all still there. Like, where their questions were, is he hanging in the pocket the same way, right? Like, is he willing to take a hit the same way? Because that's what happens with older quarterbacks. Sometimes they're not as willing to take a hit because their bodies are more beat up, and so their clock speeds up. So, the question was, is he as willing to take a hit? And is he moving around the same way? Like that?
Well, the answers to both those questions are obvious.
Is he moving around the same way? Because that's not good.
No, because he can't move.
But again, like, last year was the first year coming back off an Achilles for an older player, so maybe that looks a little bit better this year.
Okay, let's get into that for a second. Do you really believe that he's going to be fresh as a daisy this year, that it took that extra time and now a year older and with all that punishment of last season, his leg's going to be 10 times better?
I don't know, but I would say that an Achilles for an older player is one of those injuries that generally can take an extra year. Like, Cousins is the other example, right? So Cousins was dealing with the same sort of thing. And, I know from people who looked at Cousins' tape from last year, what they saw was a guy who couldn't drive the ball early in the year, couldn't drive the ball the same way. The first 4, 5, 6 weeks, that's what it was. And then there was a game against Tampa, I think it was the beginning of October, where all of a sudden he started to look like himself again. And then he built some momentum and he started to play better. And then he kind of reverted. And you saw the same issues you saw earlier in the year. So I think for an older player with that injury, that first year can be a little bit of a minefield. So I'm not saying it's automatic that he's going to come back and be who he was even 3 or 4 years ago. But there is a chance based on some of the history with older players with that injury.
Well, he wasn't great 3 years ago. So
He won the MVP, what, in 21? Is that right? Or was it 21, right?
What 21 when what? He went to the playoffs last?
No, he won the MVP.
Well, he didn't win it in 22. And
I think he won it. He won it 2 years in a row. Though, was it 19 and 20 or was it 20 and 21? Because he won it twice with LaFleur, didn't he?
I don't know. I know that they lost to the
sounds
Lions
right.
in that last game.
It also just seems like that's been a really long 3 years. Like it
has. You're absolutely right, Hardy. It has.
Well, he's also gotten into his 40s, and he's a prick. So, and he lets the play clock run out because he's analyzing.
I mean, the question is, can he have that Favre year? You know what I mean? And we didn't see it with the Jets. But there was that Favre year where Favre got he looked pretty good for the Jets, then tore his biceps. Was it? Is that right, Fred? I think right, and just looked like he couldn't play down the stretch. Then he comes back the next year and was awesome with the Vikings the first year, and then was a shell of himself his second year with the Vikings. So, I'm looking at the MVP thing, but I think that's the question. It's not can he play another 2 or 3 years? It's can he squeeze that 1 year out of himself?
Yeah, I mean, Favre, I think, won 7 or 8 games that season for the Jets. They were playing for the playoffs the last game of the year. I mean, Rodgers was an abject disaster. So
Rodgers was the MVP in 21, by the way.
Okay. All right,
20.
so 21, and he was the MVP, and that was the one where he wouldn't run into. That was the NFC Championship game where they had home field, and you wouldn't run into.
That was the year before. Before.
Okay, so the year before that was the NFC Championship game that he wouldn't run into the end zone.
They lost and they lost to San Francisco, if you guys remember.
Hello.
In that really cold game in 21.
Ooh, it's cold in San Francisco.
Well, that's another old man thing, right? I mean, I don't handle the cold as well as I used to.
Oh, I handle it like a champ. I get in that cold plunge.
Yeah, he needs to cold plunge. You think Aaron Rodgers would be all over that?
Yeah, he probably doesn't have the. He's in those darkness retreats. I say sack up and get in the. Let's take a sack lunch into the dang cold plunge. All right, so
go
ahead.
Let's just bounce to another team here. Are you hearing anything about Raiders camp and how things are there with Pete Carroll and the new look Las Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, the Christian Wilkins thing is interesting, huh? There's been a dispute for a while over his rehab plan, and that's not great. That's not a great start. That you're dealing with that. The guy signed I think it was 110 over 4, a monster contract a year ago as a free agent brought in by, the Antonio Pierce, Tom Telesco group. And there was some disagreement over his rehab plan. And the fact that the guy reports to camp and then is cut a week later. I was having this discussion with another guy with another team last night where it was if you're planning to get rid of the guy, that's just, you've just decided to move on, you do it before training camp. So the fact that the guy reported to training camp and then you're cutting him days later is sort of interesting. I think they expect to be better. I think they'll get a lot out of Ashton Genty as a rookie. Brock Bowers, I think, will be one of the best players in football at any position. The offensive line is going to be a lot better. They should be better at quarterback with Geno. And, you have Pete Carroll coaching the defense. So I think that's a really good division. The AFC West is a really, really good division. So they may not get more than 6 wins, but I think they'll be better.
Okay. I just wonder, in terms of, the attitude and the atmosphere there with Pete Carroll. I mean, he's a different guy. I don't know how many coaches you can say that about. Probably, still have in 2025 a unique philosophy and mood that they bring to the locker room. A lot of them have come from somewhere else, and they're trying to imitate something.
That's there. That's what you're asking, Hardy. That's there. I mean,
the Pete Carroll thing is been
it's there. Yeah. I mean, it's and I remember talking to Geno about this, and that was if you look at Geno. He washed out of the Jets, then he washed out of the Chargers, and his career was kind of on life support. And he did this series of 1-year deals. A lot of times those guys will bounce around one year here, 1 year there, trying to find a place where they can get more playing time. And Geno kept going back to Seattle. I think it was 3 or 4 years in a row on 1-year deals. And I remember asking him why he did that. And he said, because I had never been in an atmosphere like this before. And it kind of dawned on me, like, when you went to Seattle and Pete Carroll had it rolling, that place was unlike anywhere else. And it's hard to put your finger on what it was, but he just had a way of getting the whole place pulling in the same direction. And there was a bounce and an edge. And it's not like, I know a lot of people in New England like thought like it was this happy-go-lucky thing. That's not what it was in Seattle. In Seattle, it was, I mean, the practices were wars. You know, there was this energy to the team that I think was very unique to Pete. And from what I understand, you're already seeing signs of that in Vegas, which is good considering Pete's 74 years old. I hope I'm moving around like he does when I'm his age.
Well, I would like to get into because that's the first team that the Patriots play and expectations of that game in the season. If we can get into that, we will do so coming up in just a moment with Bert Breer. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
No Red Sox last night, but they're back in action tonight with the first of 3 against the Dodgers at Fenway. A first baseman moved yesterday, but not to Boston. The D-backs dealt Josh Naylor to the Seattle Mariners. Got a couple of pitchers in return. Patriots training camp continues in Foxborough this morning. Zoe and Beetle will be live from Gillette when practice gets underway at 10 o'clock. In other NFL news, the Raiders released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins over injury rehab plan concerns and are attempting to void his $35 million guaranteed. The Jets quarterback Justin Fields carted off the field yesterday. Dislocated toe, turns out. He's listed as day-to-day. The New England Revolution hosts CF Montreal at Gillette Stadium tonight. Listen on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And in arena football, the Mass Pirates host Bay Area. Listen to that over on 98.5 HD2. Sports Hub headlines, powered by the commuter rail. Take the train to the South Coast with 6 new stations on the Fall River New Bedford line. Whether you're commuting or going whale watching to Battleship Cove and so much more, you can get tickets with the M-Ticket app. My name is Adam 12 on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Next update after 8.
Stay tuned for more
to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
No, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
He's out visiting a bunch of the NFL camps, and we've talked to you over and over again this offseason about the expectations of the Patriots, but we were just talking about Las Vegas.
Going to be a really, really high-end running back, like a top 5-ish running back right out of the box. So, and Bowers, I think you can make the argument going into year 2, Bowers has a chance to be the best tight end in football, and Max Crosby is what he has been the last few years, one of the best pass rushers. So, that said, maybe the Raiders have a few more holes. Like questions like what are they going to do at corner? The receiver situation, is sort of up in the air. So the Patriots probably have a little bit better balance across the roster. And then, obviously quarterback, I think, based on performance, Geno's a better quarterback than Drake May, but the ceiling is way higher with Drake, so, like Drake still hasn't played at the level that Geno's been at and was at over his time in Seattle. But Drake was only a rookie, so we'll see where Drake takes it in year 2.
Yeah, Drake should end up being way better than Geno
Smith.
Smith.
Right, of course. But I'm saying, like, right now.
Right now, that's the thing, is that there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Drake May if 9 wins is the expectation, because now you're asking him to take a monumental leap.
Well, and we've all made the comparison to Washington, right? Like, I think it was probably the first one to make it all the way back in March. And I think it's a fair comparison based on, like, the way they built the team. There are 2 factors that I think that are differences, right? First of all, Washington plays in the NFC, and there's a big difference there in making the playoffs in the AFC versus making the playoffs in the NFC. And the division that that Washington is in, Dallas took a downturn, had all the injuries last year. Really, it was the Eagles, and that was it in that division last year. So, Washington had that going for them. The other thing is, in going and doing last year what they did, what the Patriots did this year, which is bringing a bunch of guys you have background with, that guys in the coaching staff know that are going to get you up to a competent level at a lot of different positions, you've made yourself competitive. What took Washington over the top last year was having a rookie quarterback that played at an absolutely historic level, right? So that's part of the equation too, is how big a leap does Drake May take in year 2? Is he taking a jump to, okay, now he's a pretty good quarterback, now he's the 13th best quarterback in the league, the 14th best quarterback in the league. Does that get you to 10, 11 wins in the AFC? Probably not. If he's in the top 10, then maybe we're talking about them getting there. So I think this is I think the Patriots have leveled up to the point where maybe they're a middle of the pack team. The thing that could turn them into a playoff team is if Drake takes a bigger leap than a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think so, but there's still going to be, limited in terms of weapons and stuff. So he can, he can progress, and he can.
Washington outside Terry McLaurin was too.
What about their offensive line?
The Patriots' offensive line
compared to Washington's offensive line.
Yeah, Washington's offensive line was just okay last year, which is why they went and got Laramie Tunsil, and why they drafted Josh Connerly in the first round. The guy they had playing left tackle for part of the year, Brandon Coleman, was a rookie who's now moved inside and playing guard. Like that was one of the positions, Fred, that they were really deficient at the end under Ron Rivera, that they sort of, I think, got up to middle to level ground last year. Like, they became competent in that area, but they weren't great.
Do you think the Patriots are competent on the offensive line?
I think they can. Yeah, I think they're competent. I think if you look at the totality of it now, Morgan Moses is older. You talked about age with Aaron Rodgers. Morgan Moses, we'll see what that looks like at his age. He is older.
They have a horrible center.
Mike and Wen has been up and down, right? Yeah, what does Garrett Bradbury look like? Part of it for the Vikings. I mean, look, I was just with the Vikings, and one of the things that they were really looking to do was get stronger at the center position to help J.J. McCarthy. And they feel like they got bigger, stronger, and smarter with Ryan Kelly at center than where they were with Garrett Bradbury.
Dumb, weak, and small.
Doesn't mean Garrett Bradbury isn't like a decent player. He was okay. but they really felt like the need to go and upgrade at that position. So I think ideally at center, Jared Wilson beats him out.
Okay.
You know? I think that's the ideal. I think if Jared Wilson is what a lot of people thought he was before the draft, then he should be pushing for that job. And we'll see how that plays out during camp.
All right. Well, Bert, enjoy Chicago. Enjoy camp as you make yourself.
I think you guys are going to get me. I think you guys are going to get me at like 4 a.m. next week too. I think I'm going to be on Pacific time.
Oh, good. I like that.
So that's always a fun spot. I always look forward to that spot every year where I'm at the 4 a.m. Pacific time in that slot.
Well, listen, it's not the Nantucket Ferry, so I mean,
certainly not.
Yeah,
you
know what?
The Nantucket Ferry will not get in the way of me getting on the air at 4 a.m. Pacific for sure.
You understand we would be more inclined to give you an out from that slot next week were it not for the Nantucket Ferry incident.
I know, and now I'm still in the penalty box. So maybe doing the 4 a.m. spot gets me out of the penalty box.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe you party a little bit that night too. Come on, all the
should I wear like a Nantucket shirt next week then? Just
I wouldn't know what you're wearing. I don't look at the screen because there's a delay. I got to keep you in my ears, baby. All right, Bert. Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, there
Thanks,
you go,
Bert
Breer. Real quick, Pabs, what's up?
Hey, you guys played that Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch Wild Side song. That video was filmed at my high school when I was there, and it was such a clown show. Donnie and Marky Mark were clowns. Like, Donnie was acting so tough, and this kid stepped up and just mentioned his father's name, who was connected. And Donnie turned from tough guy to like, oh, Moo, can I do anything for you? Can I help you? What do you need? What do you need? Da-da-da. And then Marky Mark tried playing a bunch of high school kids in basketball and absolutely got his butt whipped. Totally. It was hilarious. And the fact that he's wearing like the pants that kept on falling down and watching someone play basketball while trying to hold up their pants. Hilarious.
All right. What school was this?
BC High.
Okay. So, oh, wow. The wild side of the BC High. And
yeah.
So he went down to BC High and what was like at the playground? Like, where was he doing it?
So they weren't actually, he wasn't in the part of the video. It was just like a couple of cheerleaders. I don't know where they got the cheerleaders from. They were just like on the bleachers, like spinning around their pom-poms and stuff like while the song went do 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 do.
Okay.
So that was the part. They weren't in like part like my high school or anything. It was just on the bleachers. But they were around like for the filming and stuff.
Oh, that's funny. And so this was the era of Donnie was the rebel tough guy in like the leather jacket. They're little guys, right?
Mark Wahlberg's 5'8".
And that's what he's listed at.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's listed at.
Donnie's like a normal size guy.
Well, if Mark Wahlberg's like say 5'6", Donnie could be 5'9" and look gigantic, right, Pabs?
I'm 5'4", and they didn't seem that much taller than me.
Yeah, that's what I would
Donnie's
say.
Donnie's 5'10", listed.
Okay, listed. So I'm going to say 5'6", 5'8".
Yes, yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm saying you give him 2 inches.
He's getting his ass handed to him by a bunch of high schoolers trying to play bad. What are you thinking?
It was hilarious.
I don't know.
And like this was like in '92, I think.
Yeah, that was what was funny about Mark Wahlberg's career is that he was Donnie Wahlberg's little brother, and all of a sudden he was in Calvin Klein ads with no shirt on. And then he was in movies. And so you think, what happened from the Calvin Klein ad to the movie? Yeah. Like, what went on, knowing what we know about in Hollywood, between the Calvin Klein ad and the movie? Because there's a lot of little handsome fellas walking around Hollywood. What got
taking a walk on the wild
side? You caught an eye of Calvin Klein, and that introduced you to a world.
Right.
Donnie's, I think Donnie's a little taller than me. Unless I...
Says he's 5'10".
I'm looking at a photo.
How tall are you?
5'10", and a little more than 5'10", closer to 5'11".
I'm 5'11", and you're right around the same height I am.
And maybe I'm crouching in this photo. I can't tell.
You're starting to stoop a little bit. You're stooping.
All right, very good.
That was Pabs. Pabs is a BCN guy. From
I love Pabs.
I'm aware of Pabs.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
it's
aware
nice.
of him.
Just a nice little confluence.
Yeah, it's a BCN caller and 3 BCN guys.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Makes me feel good, Fred.
Yeah. Now this is a break you don't care about.
Make me feel real good.
This is a break that Adam doesn't care about.
What I was about to say is it was blowing my mind that we've hit every break on time this morning up until this one. It's my fault. So
there you go. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy.
that's wonders, you know what I'm saying, for all of us. And, like, he causes attention without even, you know what I'm saying, just his body of work, which is great.
The Pats resume training camp practices later this morning following a press conference from head coach Mike Vrabel. More NFL news. The Jets almost had a situation on their hands with quarterback Justin Fields yesterday. He was helped off the practice field with an apparent lower leg injury. It's just a dislocated toe. No big deal. He stayed a day. Over in Vegas, the Raiders and Christian Wilkins are parting ways over injury rehab concerns. He's owed $35.25 million in guaranteed money. The Raiders don't want to pay it. Wilkins wants it. He's filed a grievance. It's a whole situation. The Red Sox return to Fenway tonight for the first of three against the LA Dodgers. Brian Bayo takes the bump. Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, Seattle just struck a deal with Arizona for first baseman Josh Naylor, so he's not coming here. It's the Revs and CF Montreal at Gillette Stadium tonight. Here on 98.5 The Sports Hub and on the Sports Hub app. And wrestling superstar and personality Hulk Hogan dead at the age of 71. Sports Hub headlines brought to you by the 99 Restaurant. You can order their colossal or hot buttered lobster roll. You'll get a free 3-course meal upgrade. You got to love the nines. I'm Adam 12 on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Next update in about 30 minutes.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com. Half Toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Yeah, I did.
Or you were a guest.
I
on
was the
Zip
guest
Trip.
on the Zip Trip. But you're talking about actually having to go to these towns at 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff.
Well, no, just like the crowd that gathers around the Zip Trip, the Fox 25 Zip Trip, is not a crowd that I imagine anyone on air wants anything to do with.
Well, I had a delightful time with the folks of my hometown of Wakefield, Massachusetts, years ago when I went.
And I bet it was the best and brightest of Wakefield at Massachusetts out there at 8 a.m. on a Friday.
As we refer to them in town, we had Wakefield's finest on hand that
Right.
morning. Absolutely.
A lot of seemingly genetic difficulties in the crowd.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but a lot of people. A lot of
saying,
folks
like,
who
missing
knew
stuff.
I know. Oh, I know your mom. A lot of those folks, which was nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking more about like freaky looking people.
Well, not in Wakefield. You're going to get that more on the South Shore.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Wakefield, you don't get that kind of
No,
stuff.
no.
A lot of bandanas.
Classy town.
A lot of bandanas in the crowd too.
Oh, sure.
And there's two attractive women in Sherry Spear and the newish anchor are both very attractive, and I can imagine that that's not creepy at all.
Where is the Zip Trip this morning?
It's
I
in
can't see.
Mashpee.
Oh, Mashpee.
Where's Mashpee?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Okay. And you've lived here all your life.
Feels like some of the Cape.
It doesn't look
Mashpee.
like the Cape.
Yeah.
Well, remember, there's
Looks like
kinda-
they let a
yeah,
prisoner.
couple of different.
Yeah, the Willow Bend Country Club, Mashpee.
Yeah,
down
see,
that
yeah,
area.
Cape Cod.
Yeah.
It looks like they let like the well-behaved prisoners out of a federal penitentiary. Like there was a day trip for the guys that don't cause too much trouble, like the older prisoners.
Yeah, you have 30 days, no incidents, and you get to go to the Zip Trip.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
seems kind of like what it is. Yeah. It's a lot of cross eyes, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
She's waving at the camera.
Yeah, she's not
Look at
bad.
her.
Yeah, well, all right. As soon as I say something, there's not a bad-looking lady goes out there. All right, look, podcast. Everyone loves podcasts. You can't get enough of them. Everyone's listening to them every day. It's so fun. And the thing about podcasts is that there is an opportunity with them. The only thing with them is that you got to spend money because when they are about like a incident. Do we have that thing that you wanted, Hardy, that the Mulaney thing?
No.
Oh.
No, I wasn't able to find it.
Yeah. I heard him do it at a show, and I don't know if that show was released or anything, but John Mulaney says that he loves he listens to podcasts all the time, and he hates them. He hates the true crime podcasts. He hates the notion that first you have to meet the host, and then you have to meet the producer, and then you have to become convinced that these two betas whose life's ambition is to work for Grantland, are somehow going to hop in a rented Nissan Altima and drive down to the Deep South and solve a decades-long cold case. But Greg and I are on the case.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the podcasts that I have listened to, and these are the ones that I feel are worthy of my time, are exactly that. And they tell stories that you otherwise are not going to hear about unless you're living in these towns in the South. And they're extraordinary, but they take months or even years to put together. It's not two people just sitting and talking about something, because why do I need to go out of my way to listen to that? I'll turn on the radio and listen to that, but I'm not going to seek that out and subscribe and somehow in any way support someone who's not putting in the time and the effort, because there are some of them that are worthy of your time and effort.
Like Lily Analick did the Once Upon a Time the first one is about the Tracy Lords underage, her being in porn, and it's Once Upon a Time in the Valley, and she finds like Tracy Lord's high school boyfriend in interviews. So like the amount of stuff. And then there's one about Bennington College and the writers that come out of there, and she finds like who the characters in these books were based on, like Less Than Zero, which is like written and set in like 1980 and written in 1982 or something. She like goes back and finds like the guys that the characters are based on. Like it's a crazy amount of like passion project stuff that gets way into the weeds, and it's extremely esoteric. Not so much the Tracy Lords one, because that's a kind of a sensational story, but like the Bennington one's kind of like an esoteric thing. And if you're interested in it, that's something that you could never do on the radio. Right. Invest that amount of time into that kind of storytelling, into something that specific. Just you can't. And I even told Lily Analick, who doesn't need my help. She's works for Vanity Fair, but has this new Joan Didion book out. But that I've told is like, this is like the possibility of the podcast. The thing that annoys radio people is that there was, and I've heard Howard Stern talk about it, there used to be like this taking a chance, that if you were talented, if you weren't talented, you found out right away.
Right.
Like you're in real time talking to an audience, and you're getting ratings and and not only ratings but feedback immediately. And there is a live without a net quality to it. And then the best of those moved up, and the best of those moved up, and the best of those moved up. And you can call it a gatekeeper, but sometimes it's just a talent. Someone who can get talent. And what scares me about podcasting isn't that everyone has a microphone. It's that celebrities have microphones. And so what happens is, like, celebrities will dick around and make an hour-long podcast. Then they get $10 million that should have gone to some kid that, or $10 million, like Smartless gets $10 million from Sirius. Sirius should have spent that $10 million on a bunch of young broadcasters that they made stars. Why does the guy from Will and Grace have to be the star? Why don't you make your own star? The guy that saved that company one time was a disc jockey in Detroit, Michigan. Like, he was a radio guy that came up in radio, audio broadcast.
Right.
Like, and that's what annoys me about it. Like, Barstool Sports has made a fortune taking young talent, unproven talent, and making them stars. That's why the Caller Daddy's on this time list of 100 best podcasts. And so it's pretty much the 100 best podcasts ever in their opinion. And Caller Daddy's one of them. And they're not on she's not on Barstool anymore, but that was someone, to my knowledge, that really was just given a chance to do a broadcast, and then there you go. It's what bothers me is when, like, Dax Shepard, and there's room for like one or two of them. And what also would bother me is that out of all these podcasts, I've out of the 100 I've listened to, now I've heard of some of them. Like, I've heard of Conan O'Brien's podcast, obviously. I've heard of the Serial. I'm not positive I've heard it, but I've heard of it, certainly. I've heard 5 of these as podcasts. Bodega Boys, which isn't around anymore, but they kind of infiltrated culture for a while. Ezra Klein, obviously, I've heard because I subscribe to the New York Times because I'm a communist. And
The
Ezra
failing
Klein,
New York Times.
Ezra Klein just comes on, so I can't say I haven't heard him because Ezra Klein just
Right.
comes on when you go to the app. Missing Richard Simmons, which I don't know how that made top 100.
And this is you're looking at this time list, right? This
Yes,
is where you're pulling
this
these
is
from
the Time Top 100 podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, the Missing Richard Simmons, which has no ending.
And you had said that's one that's to avoid.
Avoid that.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, and like some of these that are, one.
Let me just finish these last two because it might be a parallel thought.
Okay.
S-Town was another one I listened to.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it has no ending.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic until it ends, and then it's nothing. Like nothing happens. Like it's an incredibly told story about a weird dude and some weird stuff, but then it just ends that he liked to get tattooed a lot, essentially.
Right.
Whoopsies. I spoiled it. And then obviously Mark Maron's WTF podcast, which my point is if I'm Maron, and I know he's a little bitter about all this, if I'm Maron, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Because his career's over. He was on the really, I'm not, it sounds like Trump, but the failed Air America, like the liberal talk radio, which was never going to work. And he was on that and he didn't want to be on it. And it failed. And so he doesn't know what to do. He's not getting, making a lot in comedy. So he literally goes to his garage and just starts talking to comedian friends. And organically, what do you know? He's at the ground floor. What do you know? Organically, these conversations with comedians, people start checking him out. People start looking at him. Da 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 da. So what does everyone do? What do all his comedy friends do once they see Mark Maron's had success?
Not just start a podcast.
Well, yeah, but not only that. We're not going to just start a podcast.
No, same format.
We're going to do the exact same thing.
Same format.
But for those people, I think they've never listened to something like Serial or In the Dark, which 2 seasons of that it's just some of the best thing you can consume. TV, movie, radio, I don't care. Just in terms of a medium. Those In the Dark podcasts are awesome. But for those comedians, Fred, to them, podcasting is synonymous with what Maron did. They don't know of like any other way, nor do they have any desire to explore any other way of doing it other than just copying exactly what Maron did.
So Maron had like this charmy, like non-preparedness to like his interviews, and it took off because he was the first guy to do it, and he was talking to guys in a way that they're usually not talked to.
And that's what it is, Fred, if I may interrupt, it wasn't an interview, it's a conversation. And that's the difference between the two things, right?
Anyway, it doesn't really matter. That's not the point I'm getting to. My point is this, is that you would think as a creative human being, you would go, oh, there's this way I can help promote my shows and showcase how funny I am. Mark Maron's done this interview with other comedians. What I'll do is something else. Like even those doughboys that Adolfo's in love with, at least they have like a hook.
Yeah,
of like
they have a different angle. Yeah,
it's the angle of we're gonna break down a fast food place, but then it's of course more than that. But at least that's the angle, and so I respect that. But just the laziness of we're just gonna sit in a room and talk to other comedians, and that you dopes consume that, and then act like it somehow reinvented the wheel. Like people go, I only listen to podcasts. Oh, do you? Wow, that's crazy. Audio that's been pre-recorded? I thought they stopped that with 8-tracks. This is the future. Get out of here. The ones that are professionally done and are only something that could be done in that form, I enjoy. And of course, there are people that are talented at doing audio entertainment and are funny in that format that are original, and then that's great too. And if you want to start a podcast about anything in your room, I don't have a problem with that. I think the gatekeepers not being there and letting like just the average person talk, that's fine. I have a problem with when companies just stop finding those average people and stop developing that talent and then just hand it to dumb celebrities like stupid Travis Kelce, who, of course, is on this. I've never heard his podcast off of this show, except for this show. Here is the Kelce Brothers. I have no idea what this is. It's a minute-long clip. This is one of the 100 best podcasts ever. The two, Jason and Travis Kelce, they got together, and it has nothing to do with one of them is married to or is dating Taylor Swift. This is what is the greatest.
We watched the 1990s classic Pretty Woman.
Wait, this isn't real.
This is real.
So he just took the rewatchables thing in the Go Bayside podcast and just they're doing so they can't even come up. They're stealing from the Ringer, which isn't, and they're not the first one that did that either.
Right.
It's I mean, Go Bayside, if you want a really good old podcast, it would be an episode of Saved by the Bell. And they would have a comedian come in and they would sit down and they would break down the episode, which was very good. Some were better than others. So the Kelsey Brothers podcast, they've watched Pretty Woman
for this episode.
They're reaching new heights. It's the New Heights podcast.
Does no one go to them? You rip off artists, you con artists, you pieces of garbage. No one says that to them. They can just go around. No one. There's no. You have to hold to no standard anymore. There's no one to call you out.
We watched the 1990s classic Pretty Woman.
Why'd you say it like that? Everything about this bothers me. Why did you say it like that? Pretty Woman. God, I hate you.
You got to play some of it for me because I think I might like it. And if you keep interrupting,
we play the
let me hear it. Let me hear it.
No.
We watched the 1990s classic Pretty Woman.
So there were a lot of people saying this movie is very misogynistic. I'll be honest, I am not good at this topic.
I think the only way to gauge it is to flip the script. I think we need to make Pretty Man.
Pretty Man.
And we need to have a CEO billionaire woman be so high class that she doesn't know where she's going.
It's called The Secret of My Success, my friend. Mm-hmm. When the lady with no boobs seduces a young Michael J. Fox, you oaf, you dumbass. And by the way, this is scripted too, which makes it even worse.
She doesn't know how to drive a car.
Travis, you're living Pretty Man right now.
They're brothers. They grew up together. They're reading off a script. There's zero chemistry. Who listens to this? You hate this, and you should. But like, that's my question.
I don't think
the audience
anyone
for this.
See, I don't think anyone listens to it. I think people might have downloaded it and then forgot they downloaded it, and it just keeps downloading. And idiot companies go, oh,
look at these metrics.
Yeah, look at these metrics. And then, by the way, advertisers go, no.
Yeah.
Because advertisers have learned there's no return on this crap.
And also the platforms that host it, like Spotify, love not telling you what the actual metric. Oh, well, look at the downloads. But who's listening to it? What are the actual, like, we have quarter hours and such in radio.
They don't know.
Well, they won't tell
Spotify did release something, and it was funny because the only thing that tracked was Rogan. Mm-hmm. Like that, everything else was everything else was like NPR stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because Spotify did release their first ever, like, top 20 list, and Rogan was, like, 1 or 2, and then it was kind of like a hodgepodge of, like, NPR stuff, and Tony Hinchcliffe, who's a brilliant comic mind.
He doesn't know.
Right now.
Like, if you were at a dinner table with them, and, like, your girlfriend or your wife, say, your wife or your girlfriend, which one of you I'm talking to, it goes, like, I want you to meet these guys. They're brothers. And you go, okay, and you sit down.
She doesn't know how to drive a car.
Travis, you're living Pretty Man right now. You are Pretty Man. You're living your own Julia Roberts right now.
I'm wearing nothing but a tie when Taylor comes home.
You would think that they,
Yeah, that they don't sound right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Check, please.
Yeah.
You would say, "Are you working with these gentlemen?"
Yeah, I would. I mean, you know the advocacy work that I do in my personal life.
Yeah,
I certainly would. My radar would be going off, saying,
You would fall you would fall in love with the person that brought
you. Are Pretty Man.
You are Pretty Man.
You are Pretty Man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Was that from yours or from his?
No,
what was that?
Mine. This is. This is in reaction to Travis Kelce saying, I'm going to wear just a tie when
Yeah.
Taylor Swift comes home.
Oh my gosh!
Somewhere Jimmy Fallon's
That's
like,
not
I don't believe
David
this
Lee
break.
Roth audio from the acapella there from Pretty Woman or something.
I'll
No?
tell you this, is that Jimmy Fallon saying, I don't believe this break. He's like, this is not a sincere break.
Oh my gosh!
Bert Kreischer's like, have some self-respect.
That was funny.
Oh, man. You can't beat it, man. That's why I meeted Julia Roberts. When I met Julia, it felt like we were the same person. She's so cool. And she spoke to me in this movie.
Yeah,
good for everyone.
I'm so glad we have to break. I don't want any more of that in my life ever.
I see that's 12 telling you we're late for the break.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes in time for that. Good job. Just like he took us to the hour by
That's right.
babbling. When he's talking, it's great. when everyone else is talking, it's
Not
the
good.
worst.
Welcome to my home.
You rang. Oh my God. That guy's never made that noise before in his entire life. That's the kind of guy that laughed at Home Improvement. Like out loud. When you're sitting, that's the kind of guy that laughs at Super Bowl commercials out loud. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the
I have to tell you this, is that my son and I saw the Savannah Bananas, and I think I've told you this before. It's a phenomenon. It really has, and it's a organic thing that burst out, and it's very popular. But my son and I went to go see it 2 years ago, and, thinking that it was like a Harlem Globetrotters type baseball experience. And it was, what it was a camp show. It was like a drag show, but they were wearing baseball uniforms, which is great. But it's funny because I didn't talk to my son at all during it. And afterwards, I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, I thought it was kind of like, it kind of seemed gay. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's kind of the vibe that it's going for. So it's almost like a bachelorette party. It's exactly like what I have seen on television and, in my bedroom, what camp shows are like. Like they dance to like disco songs in formation. They tie their shirts off like at the nipples. There's a lot of like sticking your butt out and wiggling it. Yeah, it's I mean, it really is like high camp. But here it is.
It's almost subversive when you think about it that way, right?
It really is almost subversive.
Look at who the audience for that would be, right?
Who it was originally, certainly, yes. Yeah.
It's interesting.
But even that my son, who pays attention to nothing, and he analyzes no information, even he was like, huh. Yeah. He didn't say it in a hateful way. He just said it in a descriptive way. He said, this seems like sort of gay, like with all the, Gloria Gaynor songs and what have you, and the synchronized dancing and
is a brand new twist on America's favorite pastime.
That is? Yeah. I don't think that is.
I think that was the Savannah Bananas guy.
No, that is.
That's the Savannah Bananas guy reacting to his player.
Trying to save it? Yeah.
Trying to save it after he did a backflip and landed on his face.
It's a good teammate.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. I hope she got in some trouble taking the Lord's name in vain on crap news network.
Yeah, well, not on CNN. Those godless commies.
Well,
she's not going to get in trouble for it.
If anyone proved it, it's just there by her saying the Jesus part. Cross yourself. All right, Mike Vrabel. He spoke yesterday. We had Bert Breer on for an hour. We talked football. We talked pigskin for 1 solid hour.
Mm-hmm.
He's over there. He's been to all the AFC North teams now. We talked about the situation with the Steelers, the Raiders, who are obviously New England's first opponent. And now let's hear a little bit from yesterday. Everyone is screaming and yelling about Stephon Diggs. They love Stephon Diggs. He looks very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter about Diggs, and I'm really, we've heard plenty from Vrabel already. Some of the other players, though, I'm interested to get their takes on these things.
Okay.
Like Jabril Peppers, for instance. His interactions so far and what it's like with having Mike Vrabel in there.
Just the questions he asked, make sure guys are taking notes. They might ask you a question from something from OTAs that, we're professionals, so you're entitled to remember that. Just things like that. Being hard on you, coaching you hard, keeping the standard, not too many pats on the back, just, how you can get better at doing things.
Ah, I get it. For sure.
You're entitled to remember those things.
Listen, noted. I got you.
We've already heard Kendrick Bourne praising Stephon Diggs, but what about the other the coaches in there and Josh McDaniels? I mean, this is going to be something that we're going to be watching and paying attention to, how these guys are able to pick up the offense. So Kendrick Bourne, you're familiar with Josh McDaniels. What do you think this time around?
Honestly, no. I think it's pretty similar. Like I was saying, Andrew, it's his system. He knows it. He's sticking to what he knows, and it's about us learning, like I said, what he wants us to do specifically. And Josh is very detailed. So fundamentals, details, and all those little things. Football's football, you know what I'm saying? So how can we play better with better technique than the guy in front of us? And I think that's what he emphasizes more, which, we struggle with in the past.
It's the little things. It's the details.
You know
it's amazing the amount of coaches not teaching fundamentals and details, according to every other coach that coaches fundamentals and details.
Tactics. If you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have the tactics to implement that strategy, useless. And they're focusing in on tactics. That's what they're doing.
Yes.
Is he getting along with the other coaches though?
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar, but it's new staff around Josh that I knew around too. So I think he's just gelling with other staff members that, you know, with Braves, gelling it all together. So I think that's the difference for me is he's with different coaches than I experienced in 21. It's dope to see, man. And I think we're evolving quick. You know what I'm saying? The environment has been dope. I think we're seeing his vision, and I think that when that connects as from coach to player, we have good practices.
They need to gel. I hope McDaniels is ready for this gelling.
You hope McDaniels is ready for this jelly?
I don't know if he's ready for this gelling.
Oh, I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Thank you.
Ha! You know what that reminds me of? This needs a proper reaction. We'll do the joke again.
No, I got it.
No, I'll do it this way. What'd you say?
I said, I don't know if McDaniels is ready for this jelly.
Oh my gosh. That was funny.
His body's too Keyshawn bootylicious for you, babe.
Oh my gosh. That was funny.
I threw in a Keyshawn booty, too.
I like
it was
that.
pretty good.
Yeah, but that kid's been hearing it his whole life. Let's be honest. It's not so nice. I mean, he was given the name Booty, and then Booty's also another name for derriere. You do the math. I mean, bullies. Am I right?
You're not wrong.
It's like me with the name Fred. Fred Flintstone? Do you even care what you say?
Are we going to try this thing?
That's out of my hands, my friend. That was something that was suggested on text.
You said you liked the idea.
I do like the idea.
I like it too.
But do we have anything prepared for it?
Like new stuff?
Yeah.
No, we don't need it. What are you talking about? That's not the bit.
All right. Well, Hulk Hogan died. So we have our favorite AI guest. We couldn't get the real one, so we had to settle for the AI version.
Sup?
Okay, so coming up, just as I made fun of the Kelsey brothers, we have this jewel. We were going to talk of Hulk Hogan with our favorite artificial intelligence.
Sup, Fred?
Oh my gosh. That was funny.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headline. All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Yeah.
All right. Because Mangione's death has taken this to a kind of, it's unfortunate for Hulk Hogan because it kind of canceled out that whole thing. But look, did I see Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 3 when he took on Andre the Giant? Yes. Does that make me like an honorary, Kowloon crew guy? Probably not. But I mean, I could probably do a guest appearance just to share my experiences.
I'm actually a
as
little
young
offended
man.
they haven't asked you on to one of their podcasts yet for you to talk about that.
I mean, at my parents' house, I do have a VHS tape still there of the WWF's most unusual matches, including
Oh, yeah, of course.
the Fijian strap match, where Jimmy Superfly Snuka was tied to Roddy Piper in a Fijian style, obviously, with a leather strap by the wrist. And Roddy Piper at first looks around. He's in puzzlement because Jimmy Snuka is so comfortable with his wrist being tied to him because he's Fijian.
That's right.
And then so Roddy Piper's like, whoa! So for the first half of this match, Snuka's just killing him because Snuka, this is right up his alley. It's almost unfair because Roddy Piper's from Scotland and Jimmy Superfly Snuka is from Fiji. So then it takes, wouldn't you know it, in his trunks, he's got a little powder. Blows it into Superfly Snuka's eyes.
Wonder what
He's
kind of
blind.
powder it was.
Blinding powder, probably, I guess. It's something
1980. What was this?
I don't know what you're referring to, but probably blinding powder. And then he takes the strap and starts raking his eyes with it. Now Snuka can't see anything. He's a dirty cheat.
Yeah.
And then he ends up winning the match and parading around as if he had done nothing wrong.
Huge asterisk, though, next to that win.
I mean, and what's interesting is how the ref was so distracted and then at one point just taken out of the match altogether. And there was no other kind of governing body to stop it. In fact, Mean Gene Okerlund at one time commented that this is one of the most ludicrous things he's ever seen in all his years of wrestling.
And he's seen a lot.
He's seen plenty.
Yeah.
There are many questions now about Hulk Hogan. I mean, we know that, been told it was a heart attack, but how frail a health was he in? We've seen him out on the marketing trail, / campaign trail. Robbie Roadsteamer ran into him a couple of times.
Some good videos he got out of that.
Some interactions have been caught. So any questions that you have about Hulk Hogan and his demise and what he's been up to recently can be answered.
GPT is booting up. Welcome. You've got Sarge. Sup, Fred. Sup, Hardy. Sup, so.
All right.
Algorithm operates with military-level precision. It's AI, baby. Sarge GPT reporting for duty.
Excellent.
So anything you need.
Okay, so now I sometimes preemptively talk over that. So Sarge is a big wrestling fan.
Yes.
So we have to figure his AI companion. Well, that's going to have to be much louder.
And once the intro ends, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
There we go. But yes, I mean, he must have a wealth of archived information on professional wrestling and Hulk Hogan, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
All right. Well, look, none of us knew the Hulkster as well as you. Are you?
No.
Okay. Are you sad about it, of the demise of Hulk Hogan?
Let me think about that.
Well, jeez. It's kind of cold. Well, what are you?
Yes.
Okay, you are. It took a while.
Yes.
This is very primitive AI if you can't even answer yes or no question.
Absolutely.
How did you process your feelings after you heard the news of Hulk Hogan's demise?
God damn you. What's the question again?
How did you process you're like, what? Okay, having to answer what's his favorite thing? What he enjoys doing. My question is to you, Sarge, AI Sarge. How did you process your emotions? We know now that you were upset by the death of Hulk Hogan. How did you process your emotions?
What an interesting question.
Thank you.
Saugus wings cure everything.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that was an actual answer. Have you been in touch with the Calhoun crew? And I got to imagine you have been. What have you and the Calhoun crew, how are you celebrating the life of Hulk Hogan?
When all else fails, consult a Calhoun fortune cookie.
Okay.
I come in peace.
Okay. Very good. There are flaws with you, Sarge AI.
No.
Yes, it is true.
No.
Yes, it is true.
Negatory.
Yes.
Good buddy.
All right. Well, Sarge, you've become a little bit too negative. You've become, you're talking back a little too much. Sarge, thank you for your time, but we're going to have to let you go. You've given us no information.
Are you still there?
No, we're going to leave now. Bye, Sarge.
Did Sarge GPT answer all your questions?
You didn't answer any of them except that you were sad.
Correctamundo.
All right. Very good. Bye, Sarge.
Sarge GPT signing off.
It's very low-level AI.
Well, all AI is low level.
No.
It's pretty bad.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But that one I like.
No.
It's the one. It's the only one I like, really.
Meta's got $15 billion going to a 28-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That's coming up with the new stuff. They say that AI is the biggest thing since the written word. That it's going to change life along the lines of the written word.
I would say the written word changed life for the better. I don't know that AI is going to do that.
Oh, we are so afraid of what we don't know, you hippie.
No, not necessarily. I embrace and celebrate change.
You dumb hippie.
But not when
Stupid
it's
hippie.
some new crap that no one asked for that suddenly is everywhere.
Well, no one asked for breath. No one asked for...
Good one. Yeah. Are you sad they invented breath?
Yeah, when you were born, did you ask to breathe? I mean, did you ask for a car? Did you ask for, did you ask for a lake, a pond?
Ooh.
Of which to go swimming? Did you ask for a stick of which to pick up cans?
Little over an hour away from a swim in Walden Pond.
Are you going there today?
Yeah, absolutely. Right after the show.
Right after the show, you're going to go? Now you're going to soak?
Yeah. Yeah. Gonna go there and have a little swim.
Is Friday a big day for you and the other hobos splashing around?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anyone there seriously that cleans off in there?
No, I've never seen that happen. There were a ton of swimmers yesterday, which was interesting.
Now, are they swimming or are they soaking?
Oh, there's like people with like bathing caps on and the little swimmy backpack that you can use as a flotation device. And
why would you use a
flying all over
flotation
the place.
device if you were going to swim?
There are some people that are very serious about
But
that.
no, but that would be seeing the antithesis of being serious.
I think they're planning on being in the water for so long. If they're out in the middle of the pond and they want to take a break, they've got something they can float with, or if they have an emergency, they have something.
My advice would be to swim fast for as long as you can and then stop.
Or how about in a pool with a depth of 4 feet?
Or with a side that you could hang on to. I don't think that oftentimes, I could be wrong, and I really could be wrong, but Olympic swimmers have floaties on. If they do, I would imagine that would be a specialized training situation. Like if I'm looking to get exercise, I don't... if I'm going to go run, I don't tie 100 hot air balloons.
Maybe it's to show. Maybe it's to show you where.
Go for a run. I don't hire someone to drive along with a motorcycle with a sidecar.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe it's to show the other swimmers where you are too. I don't know. I don't have one.
Yeah, because that can be dangerous business.
Yeah. Crashing into each other in the middle of Walden Pond.
You could really hurt your finger. All right. Very good. Well, Adam's already counting the minutes until he can do there. He's got a game for us. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to
Vegas energy drinks.
So, Patriots wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, talk to us a bit about how comfy you are in the Josh McDaniels offense.
No, it's awesome. Like, I'm just very comfortable in it. It's I think, but I know what to expect in a sense. Like, it's just awesome. I have like a lot of peace with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Camp continues with Mike Vrabel presser a little later on this hour, then practice at 10 o'clock sharp. Zone Beetle, live from Gillette right at that time. Around the NFL, Jets quarterback Justin Fields left the practice field yesterday with an injury. It's a dislocated toe. Fields is listed as day-to-day. The Raiders and Christian Wilkins are at odds over his injury rehab. He's owed $35.25 million in guaranteed money that the Raiders now want to void. He's filed a grievance to prevent that from happening. To the Red Sox, they're back at Fenway Park tonight for the first of 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. In other MLB news, Seattle traded for first baseman Josh Naylor from Arizona, so you're not coming here. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning. Day or night, and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. My name is Adam 12 on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Next update in just about 30 minutes.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
To go to break, or you don't want to get
you don't
into
want
it.
to argue about it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very see-through weakness of yours.
Yeah. I'm a weak man.
And then you take a sip out of that there water jug.
I got my water.
Yeah.
Thirsty man.
You fill that up out of the sink?
No.
Where do you fill it?
You get water over there. You got the water machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever fill up like 5 of them before the weekend? All right. Listen, you get to get out of here for a week at the end of this.
Yeah.
All right. You have a
Not bad.
game for us.
I
All
do.
right.
I do. So it's summertime, and I'm
living's easy.
And the living's easy. So I
Ronnie's
decided
on the microphone.
I would go back and pull some of the big alternative rock hits of summers past that would have overlapped with times of yours in radio. And I know you've talked on the air actually, Fred, about how you have this kind of blank space from like the early to mid 90s through the year 2000. You really weren't
About 94 to 2001 is
Sure.
is completely. I was bereft of overall culture.
Yeah.
No TV, no music, no anything, no movies, really nothing.
Perhaps you'll do better later on. We're going to
jail.
start in the summer of '97, but I think you might do better later on.
Can
in
you
this game,
believe
but-
that there was 6 years of my life, arguably 7 years of my life, where I was entertained enough where I didn't really consume pop culture or sports, that I actually had enough going on. And it wasn't like I was getting laid a ton during like most of those years. We didn't have TV in the college I went to really. And then I worked at bars and on the radio and stuff. It wasn't until I got my first full-time night job where I would get up in the morning, and then that's when I got to watch Brotherly Love on Disney Channel. And that's when I got to watch, catch up on 5, 6, 7 years of sitcoms, which I did 4 or 5 times a day. Like I got out of a coma. Like I was like, I got to catch up. And so I sacrificed 4 or 5 hours every day watching sitcoms, getting back into the swing of things. And yeah, and we can say that's where I am now. But some of us put the work in.
It's quite the sacrifice.
Yeah, I watched every Home Improvement. Even though the Home Improvement...
This is my job now.
Yeah, this is my job now. I get up at noon, and I watch TV for 3 or 4 hours. Yes, you heard me right.
It served you well.
Absolutely.
That
I'm a
encyclopedic
genius.
knowledge of...
It really probably doesn't matter what I did. I'm so smart, it probably would have worked out. Go
Let's
ahead.
see how you do with the music. Let's go back to the summer of 1997. That would be, Fred, your first summer as a Rollins College graduate, right? Because you were
Yes.
class of 97.
Yes.
Now, you weren't on the radio yet, right?
No.
Okay. But this song was. It's the only song from Fred's favorite musical subgenre to hit #1 on Billboard's modern rock chart. So think about the types of music that you like. Think about a song that was a big hit.
It's not my favorite subgenre because it's going to be ska.
Right.
But that's not by any means a favorite of my subgenres. It's a very convenient way to phrase a question.
Thank you. So think of a ska song that would have been a hit.
I'm
going to
guess that
1997.
It's the
sell
impression
out.
that I get.
Impression that I get, a car. I admit to liking ska. which is more than most people will do. Most people are too cool, but not me.
Ironically, I was, and I'm not a huge ska fan, even though I am a trombone player.
No, you
think
like
I
karate.
Should be. Yes, I do like karate.
Yeah, and just
and karate adjacent.
So
bands.
karate is his band that Adam likes,
Yeah.
and like whatever, they suck. And so like, but it's funny because he went to like one of their shows and took a picture with the guy, and it's like, yep, that's the guy from karate.
It's
all right.
it's not. But that's. I meant to mention this to you. That's actually my brother. It wasn't the guy
well,
from
your brother
karate. It was
sucks
just at the wow.
Take that.
Oh, I'm hurt, and so is he.
I thought that was the guy from karate. The guy from karate doesn't have a big beard.
No, he does not.
Your brother grew a big beard.
Yeah, he has a big beard.
I'm not even sure I've met your brother before.
I don't think you have.
Big beard Nate?
Yeah. Big beard Nate.
Nate,
You've met Nate,
Nate,
before.
why
Yeah.
haven't we hung out? Come on. I've met your father.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cliffy.
Yeah.
I've met Cliffy.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, let's go to the summer of 1998. Big hit. Hardy, you left the Edge in Albuquerque in 98, right?
Yeah.
To move to Vegas.
Yes.
Stream in Vegas.
Yeah.
Fred, it's 1998. You're starting at 99X in Atlanta.
99 is when I think I started 99X
Okay.
in Atlanta, but maybe the end of 90. I think I was in Cumming, Georgia in 98.
Oh, doing the, what was
the
what
AM
was-
1170.
AM 1170.
Yeah, Mountains Lake Radio.
There you go. Were you doing the I can call in and sell my old refrigerator
They
show?
only let me do it
1998. It is by a band with a 4-letter name that has no other discernible characteristics.
Ooh. So every radio station was playing this in the summer of 98.
Yep, big
Glenn.
crossover hit. That's 3 letters.
Oh.
Big crossover hit, Hardy. You would have played it on the Edge in Albuquerque. You would have played it on Extreme in Vegas.
RHCP.
No, we'll get to them later.
Screwdriver.
So a 4-letter. Oh. Were they a one-hit wonder?
No. This was their first hit, though.
You too.
That's 1 letter.
Oh, I
One
thought it
number.
was. I thought it was YTO.
4-letter band name, no other discernible
This
characteristic.
is about as generic as a band
Collective
can get.
Soul.
Think along
NXS.
those
Bush!
lines. Think along those lines, not Bush, because Bush already had hits by then.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
along those lines,
yeah.
though. They sound like Collective Soul. They sound like every generic
Fuel.
Yes.
Damn it.
Fuel's Shimmer.
Radio station. They played this more than any other song, and that was a highly influential alternative station in a top 10 market. Why Fuel has disappeared off the face of the planet
Completely.
but it's so weird.
And they weren't a one-hit wonder like they had that Hemorrhage song. That
Hemorrhage
was a
song,
follow-up.
which was
and
terrible.
It was bad. But
Shimmer's a good song.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like, it's corny, but like it's got a great hook. But it is interesting that like way lesser bands like 311 and stuff like tour in lesser bands in that, like, in terms of hits.
Yeah.
Like the size of hits. Like Fuel were all the time on every radio station. It's amazing to me. They seemed like they should have been bigger than Creed and all these other crappy bands. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like Three Doors Down? Get out of here.
You can see him. You can see Fuel on the 90s cruise coming up in January 2026.
Yeah.
Who's going to be on that bad boy?
TLC, Sugar Ray, Better Than Ezra,
Yeah, but
En Vogue,
Yeah, but
Tonic,
who's holding the mic talking
Fuel,
to these fellas?
Smash Mouth, Robin Wilson of Jim Blossoms, Downtown Julie Brown, Matt Pinfield,
Cat Corbett,
and me. Not to mention Spider Harrison and Dave
I can't
Holmes.
believe Pinfield took the gig. And I'm a little pissed because we share an agent, and I can't believe I didn't get on this. Me and Pinfield have the same agent. I can't believe I didn't get on this thing.
Well, it's because of that dust up you had with the EMF, and they're going to be on the boat. and
I
they
thought it
couldn't-
was the sponsor that
It's
he
unbelievable.
suggested.
They couldn't put you on the same boat with EMF.
Yeah, you're unbelievable.
Oh.
All right, next.
All right, summer of 99. Let's go there next. This song ran the table. Arguably the high point or low point of this band's arc. They're a band both of you have played throughout your careers.
Limp Bizkit, Nookie.
We complain about that's a good guess because that was a big song that summer as well. But this band we complain about regularly. We were talking about them earlier this week, actually.
We complain about this band?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That is the band, but what's the song?
Okay, wait,
Summer of
what
99.
year is it?
99.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Californication.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Okay, so 99 Frusciante was back in the
Soul
band.
to Squeeze.
Incorrect. That's summer 94.
Yeah, that's older. 99 is the Californication
Yes,
era.
it's the album, but not that song.
So whatever other garbage crap was on that. Californication. And what was the other one? They're so
They all
similar
sound
sounding.
the same. All sound the same, especially that album.
Use two sticks to make it in the nature.
Oh, that's no, that's later on. That's that
Can't Stop.
Yeah, that's
Addicted
Can't Stop.
to the Shindig.
I think that's on By the Way from 2002.
That's amazing that you were. I mean, it all sounds.
I
really,
still program the station down the hall. I mean,
but
I
it's
still
funny.
have the
Like
stuff in my brain.
You say stuff to like make it more exaggerated or to like sound cooler or whatever. Like it really, the Red Hot Chili Peppers is such a mash of just a pile of gruel that I couldn't differentiate or tell. After Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which I didn't even like, I couldn't tell you the name of one Red Hot Chili Pepper album.
Yeah,
like I know there's
Scar Tissue.
And it literally ran the table. Like it was at like number 1 on the alternative chart in like June and then all the way through August.
Have you seen Flea lately? He's got like all silver teeth.
Yeah.
And he's a emotional wreck. Like he's crying and
he was playing
spazzing
trumpet
out.
at something recently. Like they did like a national anthem. Or something like that.
he looks homeless, which is kind of cool considering he's super rich.
All right, so that was 99.
Yeah.
Let's go to Y2K.
Yeah.
You ready? I'm going to set the stage. You ready?
Y2K is the New Year's where the girl had her duct tape on her big boobies after the party. I'll never forget that.
Why?
Because she had to strap herself into that dress of hers.
So you got the dress off and then you saw the duct tape.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Bondage. Y2K.
Yeah.
Music Midtown.
Sure.
A young Fred Toucher takes the stage.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of fans cry out
100,000
as he intros this band, who no doubt played this chart-topping ballad from the summer of 2000 at some point during their set. Who is the band that you brought on stage?
I brought Creed on.
That's correct. So which is their chart-topping ballad from the summer of Y2K?
Higher.
Incorrect.
My Own Prison.
Incorrect.
No, those are both like 98.
Yeah.
With Arms Wide Open.
There it is. Oh, man, that sounds bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's really bad.
100,000 people came out to Music Midtown. That I have a picture from the stage.
It is interesting the shift like that took place in the mid '90s. Like if we had done this like 7 or 8 years earlier, we'd have had great songs, and now we just have this late '90s, early 2000s crap.
Yeah, Creed were Creed were the band that I had never heard of when I got on 99X. I'm like, who the hell is this? And they're like, it's Creed, and I'm like, I've never heard of them. I remember. Like that whole world, like Jimmy's Chicken Shack was a band that we played.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was going in and like I knew who Oasis were and stuff like that, but I didn't know, and I knew Green Day were and stuff, but like all these like Splendor and like all these in Creed and all these bands like I'd never heard of. So it was like this barrage of like, and it was a very exciting time.
Yeah.
Because like I was like ushered into this like all these shows and all these people and all this stuff, and I wanted to be on the radio, and I was on this big radio station. So I have fond memories around these songs. Not so much Creed, because that just lasted forever.
Yeah.
But Jimmy's Chicken Shack, Splendor.
Oleander.
Oleander.
Yeah, like, I mean,
Joy Drop.
Oh, boy. Worst reveal of all time.
Yeah, you're just jealous.
No way, dude. That was
Still don't
that was
know
a
who
big
it is.
score.
Never
big
heard-
score.
Well,
for
of course you do. You look. She's still hot, by the way.
Absolutely she is.
She's older than me.
Yeah.
No.
All right, one more. Extreme in Vegas.
Yeah,
Limp
okay.
Bizkit.
You already said Extreme.
Linkin Park. Static X. Slipknot.
More than
Mudvayne.
words.
You need some lighter fare to break up all that ball-crushing man rock, right, Hardy?
Yeah.
So this quasi-ballad from a Massachusetts band, it did the trick in the summer of 2001.
Godsmack Voodoo.
That is incorrect.
Come on.
Incorrect. It is not
Stained.
Godsmack Voodoo.
Stained.
Damn it. Yes.
Damn it.
No.
No, you get
Go on.
Stained is not you take away. That's
No, that's
the first single.
Chavo from the first album.
Outside.
Incorrect.
Come on.
No.
A hero.
No, that if we had time, we were going to get to that one. That's the summer 2002.
What was the ballad? The one he said wasn't the ballad?
Outside is a ballad. It's been a while.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah,
They played on the Bricks a free concert for us, and there was probably about 90,000 people there.
Yeah.
It was the day this album came out.
This was the peak. It was one of the rare times where like a band's peak happened with like the album and the single, like all at the same time. We booked them for Edgefest that summer, and they actually They were the quote unquote headliner, but they didn't go on last because we had Rammstein, and Rammstein with all the pyro, they got to go on last. So
I didn't hate their first single even.
no, the first album had some when it was a little bit heavier.
Mud Shovel was a fun song.
Mud Shovel and
Yeah,
just go.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's become like a joke, but the Mud Shovel wasn't a bad song.
No, and Just Go was the first single, and that was.
I
good
think
as well.
you played a lot more Stain than I probably did.
Yeah, we played a lot of Stain.
Yeah, I mean, because you were here.
Yeah.
While Stain was soiling themselves,
and that stuff was huge.
You can't even hear the guitar.
You know who you got to thank for them is a man by the name of Fred Durst. Was the Svengali behind
That's
Stain.
right. They had that wonderful live acoustic version of Stains Outside where
Let me see those ladders.
Let me see those ladders, Biloxi, recorded in Biloxi, Mississippi.
The best is the lack of like self-awareness or any self-deprecation from any of those guys. Like if they had one hint of humanity or like any kind of joking around, like it would clean the palate so much more. But Fred Durst like super silly on him on the joke guy, but there was not a twinge of irony, or any humor in any of that Limp Bizkit stuff. That's why when he dresses like puts a fun wig on now and like dresses like it's the 70s, and he goes on stage like he's in on the joke. Oh no.
They were dead
You were
serious.
decidedly not in on the joke. No. You were dead serious when you thanked
Well,
Ben
he was into
Stiller
it.
at the beginning of a single and you had the balloon flavored water and hot dog crap. I'm not even trying to be cute. Like it's all just a mishmash of crap. I wouldn't play them. Even when I did Nights, I wouldn't play Limp Bizkit. I said, I don't want this on my record. I knew that they were the corniest band of all time.
Yes.
Corny then, corny now. And it wasn't some hipster or I was cooler. It was an embarrassment. I played Creed and all this other crap. I played crap by the dozens. Limp Bizkit was shameless crap. Like everyone should be, should be ashamed of themselves. It's like, breakdancing at Tally Hall when you were in, fifth grade. It's the same difference.
You got to get that video this summer.
All right, very good. All right, we'll be right back.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ticks on the dog, mosquitoes in your face, ants raiding the kitchen, and termites.
bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Yes, we are Toucher and Hardy. You can email us whenever you would like. Just go to 985thesportshub.com to find our email addresses. You can follow the show on Twitter and on Instagram at Toucher and Hardy. Hardy on Instagram at Hardy985. And I, in my picture with Maddie Siegel, who everyone is very interested in. Everyone in the hallways, is Maddie coming on the show on Tuesday? And I say, yep. And then they are of great interest to them. They're of great interest to them that he is coming on the show.
Realizing that your answers and all of your involvement with this is basically Fred GPT. Everything is yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So I played golf with Maddie yesterday, and there you go. This is from Cam. It says you exposed my dad as a liar.
That's good.
My late father told me he listened to With Arms Wide Open when he found out my mom was pregnant. Problem is, I was born in 95, and the song came out in 99. I feel like Hunter Dobbins.
The Red Sox pitcher whose dad told him he pitched for the Yankees and he got released, and the only guy he was friends with was Andy Pettitte. It turns out, probably none of that happened.
Okay.
No.
Gary Not Tang Away says, Adam 12, Song of the Summer, 1976, go.
Song of the Summer now.
Yeah.
77 would have been Car Wash, because that's the year I was born.
Yeah. You like that ethnic stuff. R&B, soul music. Car Wash. Talking about the Car Wash. Also been riffing on some new bit ideas. Let me know what you think. Bit number 1, is it Gway? Play clips of sexually suggestive males, and you have to guess if it's me or a homosexual advance. Gary Bear out. Yeah.
Just a sweet guy with the cowboy boots and played the guitar.
Whoever's paying.
We just played it.
Yeah, there you go.
Way?
Could be either one.
Whether you're the socket or the dang plug.
A local kid.
As long as you got greenbacks.
It's like a gem.
Yeah, it's like a jam, but with body parts. But
she was a cop. A cop's cop.
Go ahead.
Stephanie, not Fred's ex, says, as a big Chili Peppers fan, I crack up while you rip on them. However, I saw Stained open for Korn a few years ago, and Aaron Lewis was ridiculously drunk going on political diatribes. It was the worst.
Yeah.
You know who else who sucks? Incubus. Play that Drunk Fred audio because it's one of his shining achievements. You're one female listener since BCN, Stephanie. Again, not Fred's ex.
All right. Yes. Do we have me drunk talking to Incubus? It seems to.
You
have
should
been
be able
played
to find
once or
that
twice.
pretty easy, Ryan. It's in there.
Yeah. It's me. I interviewed Incubus at the WBCN concert. I was apparently very drunk, and they did not greet the fool nicely. They did not roll with the punches. They did not like me.
And what is your excuse for that day? You say you got dosed? You got slipped a Mickey?
In all seriousness, yeah, the amount I drank would not normally have corresponded to how drunk I was.
I remember hanging out with you after that happened. I remember, you and I went out into the crowd to just watch whatever band happened to be playing. I don't think it was Incubus. I think they went on later on. But I remember you were kind of like you certainly weren't sloppy fall down drunk, but you were asking me, you're like, was that bad? It's like, yeah, I think it was. Like, you think it was bad enough to get me in trouble? I'm like, no, I don't think it was. I think you created a good enough. But I mean, you were. What I'm sharing that because you were in the frame of mind where you certainly weren't completely out of it.
No. I remember everything too, which is what's kind of weird because I was quick to black out, or certainly brown out, and I recall being in the audience with you, and I remember being in that interview and going I sound horrible. I'm gonna just try to have fun with this, and then even surprising myself with how little I could talk, which usually I would have woken up the next morning going, what happened?
Right.
What went on? What happened? And then I would have heard the audio and been very ashamed. So I was only half as much ashamed as I normally would have been.
So you played the audio.
Still plenty ashamed. I mean, looking back, what were they going to do? I mean, what did I do, really? I just was drunk. Fire a guy from a rock station for being drunk.
And we don't talk enough about the fact that those guys were dicks about it.
Yeah, they were total
They
dicks.
could have been it could have been a great moment. Like they could have really goofed on you. Like if they're
And I would have taken it.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. But and if you had been like legitimately like sauced to the point of not being able to understand what was going on, they could have really gotten one over on you, and that would have been funny in a point in their column. But instead, they were all tut judgy about.
Well,
it.
I think Brandon from Ingers.
Bandcamp. The big thing that's happening. We're here with Brandon and Brian.
Brian's all right.
He knows
was
what's
all
going
right.
on.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
Brandon, I think, finds himself to be a serious poet.
Well, he is. You beat me to it. He's a poet.
Yeah,
a painter
with volumes of poetry.
I sold a copy of his poetry book on eBay for a tidy sum years ago.
Really?
Yes, he has quite a few. Well, remember, he's a very comely gentleman, so he has.
Well, that was
few
one of the
female
questions I
fans.
asked him.
Yes.
I said, how could you be so full of angst? You were the class beauty. This is Joe. He says, are you going to address the woman who commented on your golf post, seemingly wanting you to make love to her over dinner?
Ooh.
I don't know of what that is, but now I'm interested.
Oh.
I don't know. I know I'll have to go
take a
look
look
through
at
my
that.
mentions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Chris says, speaking of the bear, you watched the new Always Sunny great episode. Yes, yes, chef. EMTs, Peppers. Also, you said you can't watch South Park anymore. You should probably watch this week's episode. I can watch South Park. I just can't watch it in syndication. I've obviously heard all about this South Park episode and saw the AI thing at the end. And I don't have Paramount Plus, but I would love to see the episode. And It's Always Sunny I love, and it's one of my favorite shows. It's just, I used to DVR it on Thursday nights and then watch it Friday mornings. And now that it's kind of like secondary, that it's on TV and it's really just a Hulu show, I'm finding it hard to because my attention span is so terrible, having the patience to sit down and watch it. And I know the episode of which you speak of, but I paid no attention to it. So I don't really have anything to do during the day today. And it's going to be a hot one. I don't know if you've read. So maybe I will watch those.
Come for a dip down Walden Pond with me? Huh? Cool down a little bit?
Normally, yes, but no. No.
Okay.
Not today. I got way too much going on.
Okay.
As I just explained.
I can't find this comment.
No, neither can I.
Yeah, maybe it was deleted.
Mike says, or maybe it just never happened. Or maybe he's reading something into something that didn't, there is nothing. I can try to find the comment if you guys want to read an email. If someone said you're the cutest.
Yeah, but that's not enough to.
And they said that's what, I said right, and she said that's what she said. Dinner soon.
Oh.
And someone just said this is the message that someone emailed about. Huh. Who knows?
All right,
Dave.
Dave.
There's a lot of ladies. Let's face it.
Dave said, "Morning, Hardy. I wrote you last week, backing you up on the comfort shame of buying Skechers slip-ins. I'm 48 years old. Tried mine on at the store, but they didn't have the size needed.
Can we just stop at trying on shoes at the store? You know what size shoe you wear. You're 48 years old. What are you trying on shoes at the show?
Brands have different sizes.
Different brand, yeah. They'll fit differently if it's a different brand than what you're used to wearing.
Funny, I've gone my whole life without that problem.
Well, maybe you need
magic
to do
feet over here.
Yeah, you need to do something that requires more than just shuffling around at a snail's pace, and you'll find that you need a properly fitting shoe.
Tell me the last time some lady said the kind of physical comments that this woman gave to me. They don't come without work, my friend.
This guy walks his dog with no shoes on. I'm taking his opinion seriously.
Anyway,
I'm like the coach of the Celtics, stupid.
So didn't have the size I needed and the style I like, so I bought them online. Today, while I'm online, I received this targeted advertisement. Now 70% off walking shoes for elderly with poor balance. So that is the danger. If you shop for anything like that online, that's why you got to you got to put your time in at DSW. Get that thing right at the store.
It's funny because when I asked Dan Roach what shoes he walked with, I told him what shoes I walk with, and they were the same shoe because we both had Googled old idiots best walking shoe. And so we both had whatever the hell this brand is, like Brooks or whatever the hell it is, brand of walking shoe. Because when I first got the dog, I an idiot, like a fool. put best walking shoe, and like Runner's World came up, and it was like best value shoe, but you go best overall.
Yeah.
Because listen, we're not trying to get any, like, I don't need the value necessarily, and it's really just a matter of dollars. And, you don't want any specialty, crazy shoe with like big, one of these like individual toe shoes or one of that nonsense. Best overall shoe for walking.
Give me a walking shoe.
Yeah.
Give me a best mall walking shoe.
As opposed to just shoes where you're not supposed to walk in them, like Gucci loafers.
Right. Tony said, heard you guys mention Mr. Fuji. Fun fact, Fred may like, after retiring from wrestling, he worked as a ticket taker at a local AMC movie theater here in Knoxville. Rumor has it he did it as a way to see his kids after a divorce.
Well, the mayor of Knoxville, I believe, is a ex-WWE wrestler. So Knoxville welcoming arms to the ex-wrestlers.
And
or
then
maybe the governor of Tennessee is an ex-wrestler, something like that.
Mark wants to know, why is everyone so surprised about Hulk Hogan?
Oh.
Sad, yes. Surprised, not really. I don't think anyone's surprised. I mean...
No, and there's not the outpouring of emotion. Like Malcolm
he was
Jamal
tan
Warner,
and still jacked and everything, but he didn't look healthy.
No,
It didn't look real.
No. You do steroids for that long to get 38-inch pythons. I mean, that's going to enlarge your heart. It's amazing that he lived as long as he did. You know that Rich Piana guy, his heart and liver were like, he's a big bodybuilder.
Oh,
guy.
I know.
And
Yeah.
he was kind of like his videos, you'll fall down a hole.
It's hilarious.
And his girlfriend was so hot. Like he had like the hottest girlfriend in the world.
You brought him
And
up
he
a couple
was
of
such
weeks
a
ago,
freak.
and I fell down.
Anyway,
the
they
rabbit hole.
weighed his heart and liver after he died, and they were like 10 times like what they should have been, because you're putting these hormones in your body. They're making everything grow, and his liver's like rejecting all this crap. So yeah, I mean, Piana only lived to be like 43 or 44. So the fact that Hogan lived to 71 is quite a tip of the cap to him. Yeah, there's not going to be an outpouring of like emotion like there was for an icon like Ozzy.
No.
Or like the surprise of a Malcolm Jamal Warner drowning at 54. Or
the beloved Chuck Mangione.
Or Mangione, which, half-mast, which kind of trumps everyone else.
Can you
when
name a Chuck Mangione song?
Yes, he wrote the something in the Up in the Clouds. It was the theme to the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. That was one of his big hits.
I'm gonna say no. He cannot name a Chuck Mangione.
I just
song.
told you the name of the.
He
Chuck
always wore the
Mangione
same
song.
hat.
It is something like of a theme of an Olympics. That's not a song. Name me a song. What's a song?
Yeah,
what's the name of the song?
I only know it because of King of the Hill. Chuck Mangione was always the celebrity endorser on King of the Hill.
No, I'm not going to pretend to be some big Chuck Mangione
Is
fan.
the name of that song "Feels So Good"?
That's the one.
Yes, that is Feels So Good. I didn't know the name of it. I've never heard the name of it. I just know it from King of the Hill again, where Chuck Mangione was about once a year would come on as Chuck Mangione.
Yeah, playing the flugelhorn.
Right. When the Hank is trapped in the mart and Chuck Mangione's poster comes to life and starts talking to him. All right, so we'll be back here. King of the Hill's coming back, by the way, and it's like this in real time. Like Hank's older, the kid's older. It's not something I'm not looking forward to.
I'll check it out.
Oh, will you?
Yeah,
I'll watch.
I'm game.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius.
thinking, what could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack Untouchable.
Presumptuous.
I helped plan this coming Monday show. It all evens out.
I guess if that's what we're doing, if we're just, if work to you is just a series of checks and measures, and there's no deed just done for the sake of the deed, it's always to catch up on some back alleyway.
It's a series of checks, that's for sure. Got to make that money.
All right, Pat, go ahead, sir. I
What's
don't
up,
know.
T?
Hey, what's up?
Why do you hate Turnstile, dude? They're the most easily likable act in music right now.
I don't hate Turnstile. I just don't. I don't like the way they're revered, and the singer bugs me. That's all.
Do you like the new album?
I do. I enjoyed it. I like Go On better, but I thought it was a good follow-up to the hype.
Mary, heaven restores you in life.
You go stabbing yourself in the neck.
I mean, there's a bit of a difference. I mean, he's not sitting there crooning and dancing around. If you can't tell the difference between the two singers, that's almost as bad as an example as you could make. Shame on you.
All right, so Adam 12 is going to Maine.
Yeah.
So the free things he's going to miss in Boston this weekend include the International Sandcastle Fest. Ever been to the Sandcastle Festival?
The Sandcastle Festival, the one in Revere Beach?
Revere Beach.
Yeah, I've mucked around over there before.
He's hosted it for a couple cans.
We took the kids to that one year. Parking is fun when you go to the Revere Beach Sandcastle Festival.
Yeah, I mean, there's all those, Lamborghinis.
Yeah, keep that in mind. There's also Shakespeare on the Common. Now, this started on Wednesday, and this is going through Sunday.
Would this be something you pretended to like?
Oh, I would. I do not enjoy the plays of William Shakespeare, but I do enjoy theater, so I probably would go check out a little bit of Shakespeare in the Park. Or Shakespeare
Even
in
if
the
you
Commons.
knew you weren't going to like the play.
What play is it? Did they tell you?
Yeah, they do them all.
Yeah, my kid was in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and that was pretty good.
What was the smallest place you've ever seen a production of something where you did not know someone involved?
Oh, wow. Probably when I lived out in Albuquerque. We probably went and saw like a showbox theater situation where there are probably like 30 people in the audience and a small cast.
The show is Shakespeare's lush romantic comedy, As You Like It.
As You Like It. I like it. Sign me up.
Salsa Square Dance Party. Latin
What?
Beats,
Those things don't go together.
It's a Latin Beats dance party and salsa sampling. This is at Brattle Plaza.
Well, that's got to
Cambridge?
cost a lot of money. I mean, you don't just throw that on the marquee and just say walk on in.
No, these I'm going all free. I'm trying to make
free chips and salsa, man. You kidding me? I'll dance for that. I'll dance for my meat. Yeah, that's
Machu
delicious.
Picchu.
little shimmy shimmy.
Yeah, she's never getting the money back.
There's the 10th annual Cambridge Jazz Fest.
Yes.
All right.
Tomorrow.
How come you were going out of town today, or you're not going? Are you going?
I'll leave tomorrow morning.
This feels like the worst weekend for you to be gone. All this stuff going on.
Wait, missing out on all this cool stuff.
There's a jazz fest, and you're not going,
and I'm not going.
It's a porch jazz fest.
No, I don't think it's a porch fest. I think it's different.
No,
because you play in a
Jazz
porch
Festival.
fest.
I did play in the Arlington Porch Fest last month. Yes.
How'd that go over?
It's fantastic.
How were you received?
Oh, by the friends and
complain?
family that came to watch, we were received very well.
Does anyone in the neighborhood complain? That
No,
there's this going on?
because they all know what's going on, and they know like if they
I'd call the cops.
You can look at you can look and see who's playing where, so that if you're going to have a whole bunch of music in your neighborhood and you don't want to, you can get out of there for a little.
Oh wow, they give you the opportunity to leave the home that you pay for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that is so kind of them.
Yeah.
They give you fair warning to leave the home.
Fair warning, get
where
out of
you
here.
reside.
You don't want the
that you pay the taxes on.
You don't want the porch fest.
All right. That's something Adam that encapsulates Adam's attitude and all so well. Yeah, they give you plenty of notice to leave.
Yeah.
If it annoys you.
This thing that I'm going to participate in, they do it right.
But you wouldn't want to leave because it's porch fest.
Well, see,
It's nice.
now you're making assumptions, which is how you socialists work, is that you believe there's this group thing. All right, Adam, have a wonderful time in Maine.
Thanks, gentlemen.
And enjoy the lake today as
Yes.
you go into Walden Pond and enjoy that. That'll do it.